Alrighty, folks, we're back with more Echo. Jenna records. That's the wonderful Rowan.
Hello, everybody.
So yes, we're back with more Echo. What is Echo, Rowan?
Echo is a furry visual novel gay dating simulator with psychological horror elements. And by psychological horror, I don't mean Doki Doki Literature Club bullshit where it does like meta-narrative bullshit and you're bumming around with the code and oh no, she's killing off the characters. Ooh. No, it's more like, oh, you want to date this cute boy? Tough shit, he's abusive. Learn to let go of people. Also mass hysteria.
Oh, I love how the descriptions of the game get so much more meta as it goes along.
Yeah, like, it's just something that annoys me because I have tried speaking about this with multiple people and they always bring up DDLC. And it's never a good example, you know? Like, the only other thing I can think of is when people describe, like, paleontology like archaeology, and I'm like, well, they're both digging holes in the ground, but they're doing completely different things with the holes and what they're finding.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I usually use the description of, that's like saying a surgeon and a butcher are the same thing because they both cut up meat. Technically true, but I think we're missing some very fine details here that kind of are important.
Technically true, and both can be artisans at their work, but both do different things.
Yes, very much so. DDLC focuses a lot more on that kind of game-breaking narrative, if you understand what I'm kind of pointing at there. You know, like you piddle around in the code and you find things and the game literally crashes and like, and she works out she's in a game and she's trying to force you to date her and ooh, spooky, and it's kind of falling into like Japanese kind of manga tropes. Well, this is more like a deconstruction of the idea of like, who would be playing a dating sim? Lonely fuckers, obviously. How about we make them navigate a tumultuous relationship in which to get a good ending where you don't have your legs chopped off, you need to fucking end it. Set a boundary, you stupid, needy piece of shit.
Personality of a
They're doing very
rock.
different things. Personality of a rock, brain of a goddamn amoeba, legs that are apparently made out of Cheetos. Chase, I hate you, I love you.
I mean, there are very few routes where he doesn't hurt his legs in some kind.
Yeah, or some part of him. Like, normally his legs. Like, even in this where he's like, oh, my legs hurt. I've been made to hike once. I mean, yeah, he's got stubby little otter legs, but like, come on, man. Come on, get outside, do a thing. Stop trying to murder your friends. Leave Flynn alone.
Trigger warnings for the story?
Trigger warnings for absolutely fucking everything, but abuse is forefront and center. Tumultuous relationships, murder, hysteria, guns, gun violence comes up, monsters, time loops, fucking everything. Literally fucking everything. Jenna's Ramticular goes into more of the history of like Native Americans and colonialism, so that could be a thing that might upset people for obvious reasons, including like modern day. The word's gone out of my head. Yeah, it's gone. Modern day bad things happening to Native people. That's the best I can brain right now. Yeah, just viewer discretion advised. This is a psychological horror, and I mean that in the truest sense of the word. It will upset you psychologically. It's just upsetting subject matter sometimes. Grain of salt. Suicide, murder, manslaughter, there's some more. Child murder.
Alright, so, now we've had all the trigger warnings. What's the story of Echo so far?
The story of Echo is that Chase, an otter who grew up in said stupid town of Echo, is going back to Echo to do a school project. He's studying journalism. He has to do a report of some description. I don't think even he fucking knows what he's going to be graded in. He's decided to do it on Echo, namely the mass hysteria that happened in the late 1800s. Just a report, basically. He's using the opportunity to meet up with his old school friends. Two of which have already left Echo and they're coming back for the visit. Two of which are still living there. 3 of which, sorry. And they're all kind of using it as an opportunity to hang out for possibly the last time, because they're all getting older now and childhood's kind of fading and the town's kind of going even more to shit than it was. Just poverty, just south of the US poverty, that kind of nonsense. Everyone's a meth head, everyone's homophobic, everyone is also gay. In our route, we are currently romancing Jenna, who is the only woman of the group and the only one who regularly has a shower. So far, from what I remember,
well, TJ showers for hours.
Yeah, TJ showers quite a bit, but he also hikes quite a bit. So I suppose it's TJ and Jenna who are the only ones who really regularly wash, because I don't think Flynn does. I mean, no, Leo doesn't. Fucking microwave meal man. And Carl definitely just smells weed all the time. And we know that Chase himself is a musky boy, so yeah. Either way, Carl's gone missing. They're all trying to find him. Duke is convinced that Chase has something to do with the mass hysteria creeping up around the town again. There's tulpas going around. People keep seeing Chase when he's not there. That version of Chase doesn't have a goatee. Leo's getting more abusive. It's a fun time, you know, just a good holiday. 3 out of 5 stars TripAdvisor.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that kind of summarizes it.
I think the only thing I would mention is Leo is currently, I don't know if he's on the run from the police or just like avoiding them because they want to talk to him after he punched through a pinball machine after trying to abuse you in front of a crane machine.
Yes, he attempted to sexually assault the protagonist. He got called out for said behavior, blamed Jenna even though you're the one also calling him out on the bullshit, punched the machine, and now he's kind of on the run from the sheriffs. Whatever a sheriff is, I don't even know, to be honest. I'm just imagining like a cop, but with a funny accent.
A cop with a slightly bigger badge.
Okay. A funny accent.
Yep. Alright. We just spoke to Duke, so we will carry on from there.
Duke's acting weird, something to do with meth.
Yep.
But also, he keeps seeing Chase around town before he even arrived. Ooh.
Also, he's become Liverpudlian.
Yes, he is now Scouse. I feel like Ireland has a lot to apologise for in terms of destroying accents in some cities. New York, Liverpool. But then again, it's the English fault, so, you know.
You can just blame the English, it's a lot better for everyone.
Yeah. It's just a natural thing, really. Either way, let us continue with Chase's horrible holiday.
Yep. After another half hour or so of searching, we end up heading back to Carl's place. After the whole interview with Duke, she starts ranting a little about meth use and psychological effects. Admittedly, I was only picking up on bits and pieces of what she was saying. Apparently, the drug stimulates the part of the brain that creates urges for tinkering, which is why yards of meth houses often look like scrapyards after extended use. Poor Duke. Though the guy always kind of skeeved me out, even back when we were kids. I think he used to have a wife at some point who I remember being really nice. She used to ride her bike around town all the time, and one day she stopped by to help me set up a root beer float stand. Then one day she just kind of disappeared. Hell, I think I was playing at Leo's house when the cops came and asked if Leo's parents had seen her. Jenna uses her newly acquired spare house key and lets us in. I spent so much time in Carl's house growing up, the stepping inside always felt kind of like coming home. Carl's parents were never as friendly as Leo's or TJ's, but they were often just as straight up absent, which means we got the run of the place. I glance off at the side and notice a duvet in the... a divot? Yeah, divot. Divot in the wood panelling next to the door. Carl slammed his head there when we were roughhousing 6 or 7 years ago. It's a wonder we didn't do more damage. Jenna nudges me with her shoulder and I shift my attention back to her.
Hey, I'm going to put something in the living room. In the living room, I mean. I've been mainly camped up here on the couch with my laptop while you guys were out earlier, trying to get some studying done. Despite the quiet, it's a little difficult to focus with all that's going on.
So you want to watch some TV?
Well, sure. I've got something in mind. Oh no, it's going to be fucking anime.
She smiles at me, turning tail to head down the hall. I follow suit, briefly considering raiding the cupboards for snacks, but that kind of feels out of line considering the circumstances.
I got mad for the biscuit.
It's alright. Flynn had turned the air conditioning off last night, so we've got the ceiling fan going overhead. It's doing a pretty good job at keeping me cool. The blades spinning as fast as, so fast they almost look still. When I was a kid, I was always afraid of having my fan on a high setting. The thing would start to wobble and click, and I always thought any moment it would spin off at the socket and come careening towards me. This one Carl has looks extremely sturdy though. It kind of looks like it's made out of some sort of brushed copper with a turquoise painted metal base. At this point I realise I'm not doing a good job of focusing on the anime Jenna put on. I glance over to her and see if she's noticed my wandering gaze, but I see that her eyes are closed. At first I think she's asleep, though they begin to flutter open after some time. She rolls her head, some in my direction, catching my gawking. She smiles lightly, stretching her arms out over her head and letting out a long yawn. What? I put on my best innocent face. Just checking to see if you were as riveted by the ongoing developments of Mr. Wong's fledgling done some business. An amused noise escapes between her lips, her left ear twitching some as she stares at the screen with half-little eyes.
Have the magical demon girls shown up yet?
The magical demon what? I thought this was a nice little, what do you call it, slice of life thing?
Well, I suppose that's how they get you.
She hums her words, her tone sleepy and warm.
They lull you into something calm, low pressure, giving you a chance to really live the setting before they pull the rug out from under you.
Jenna's tone is infectious, and even I start to speak with a sort of rumbling, only half-serious whine. Do they all have to be like that? I mean, what if we just want a quiet, slow burn kind of show? It seems like all of them these days just have the fantastical bullshit that comes out of nowhere. On screen, the character of Mr. Wong, a returned red panda, is cooking a batch of fried rice in a large wok. It's also lovingly animated for something so mundane. You can practically see each individual piece of egg, pepper, and seasoning as he sprinkles on top.
Chase, there are plenty of slow burn shows out there. And how would you even know? You told me you don't keep up with this stuff anymore.
I mean, I occasionally will put some anime on when I'm bored back at Pueblo.
Oh yeah?
Well, I guess hanging out with you has made me kind of interested again. Jenna smiles again. I can see the little tips of her tiny fangs. She shifts in her seat, scooting from her side to the sofa to mine. Her arms wrap around my torso, squeezing me some. Without really thinking, I rest my head against hers and exhale for what seems like ages. I can feel butterflies in my stomach somewhere down, the light prickle of goosebumps along my neck. It's so intimate, so beyond the boundaries of closeness that Jenna and I have shared in the past. But it's comfortable, no judgment or pressure. Just two people on the same wavelength, both very tired, stressed out, and kind of slap happy. I watch her chest rise and fall against mine. Her fur is so much softer than mine, like it's like running your paws through goose down. I slide my fingers around her shoulder and down her arm, then back up again. Is this just platonic? Like one of those cuddle girl slumber party kind of things? We never did anything like that when we were younger though. The closest thing I can think of is when we shared an air mattress when we went camping for my 16th birthday. Leo having been out of town at the time, of course.
You're very cute, Chase.
Her words take me by surprise, the compliment so blatant and not something I've been told in years. It feels like a minute passes before I feel her weight shift beside me. She looks up at me, I look back down at her. Next thing I know, her mouth is pressed against mine. My heart skips in my chest and there's definitely some tightness in my shorts. Her muzzle is small, her tongue easily fits inside when she opens her lips. We continue for some time, the noise from the TV seeming to fade into the background. It's an unimportant mumbling drowned out by our pounding heartbeats and the whir of spinning fan above. It isn't until the episode ends and we're left in actual silence that Jenna seems to pause. She pulls back, eyes on my chest, an expression indiscernible in the new darkness.
I am a little concerned about moving forward with this. I've seen how these sorts of things can destroy friendships, and the one I have with you I truly value. I'm worried we will look at ourselves in the morning, well, in a couple of hours, and be disappointed with ourselves.
Wait. I stopped for a second, frowning. Are you saying you don't want to, at least in part because you think I'm gonna be bad at it? Jenna doesn't immediately respond. Oh no. I've done it plenty of times. Oh god. Dig the fucking hole, Chase! My voice comes out a little louder than expected and Jenna pushes her paw to my mouth, hushing me. I pull her away, repeating myself, but this time more quietly. I'm not bad at sex. I feel my cheeks burning at this point. Jenna's increasingly amused expression not helping at all.
Sorry, one sec.
It's alright.
Someone random has decided to ask me if they can join my guild, and I'm like, well, you can, and we are very nice people, but we are a night elf specializing RP guild. Is that something you'd be okay with? Chase, oh my god.
Jenna's shoulders shake as she titters, clearly tickled by how flustered I'm getting. I'm serious.
I can see that. Let me... There we go. That's not exactly what I was getting at, but I am well aware you and Leo snuck off every chance you could when you were younger. Sorry.
It's alright.
There we go. But as you may possibly know, there are several slight differences in anatomy between Leo and I.
I continue to frown at her as hard as I can.
Okay, don't give me that look. Now I actually do feel bad.
I grunt quietly. Well, how many guys have you been with? Never fucking ask that, Chase. You get asked me earlier at the diner, so it's only fair, right? After the first year at college, I pretty much lost complete contact with Jenna's social circle. Initially, it's because Carl never really wanted to go out, so mainly just hung around in our dorm. But by the time Carl dropped out, it was like all our social links had been severed. I look at the pictures she'd posted on her timeline, I wouldn't recognise anybody she was friends with. Such a contrast, seeing her in all those fancy events, wearing formal dresses, receiving awards. For a while I thought she'd just changed, transformed by college life and intellectual peers she surrounded herself with. But talking to her again this week, I've come to realise that's not the case at all. She was always that person, it's just everyone else brought her down to our level, I guess.
Been with?
She leans back some, perking an eyebrow and putting on a professional visage, though she's still got a mirth-laden look in her eyes.
Yep. Are you asking about dating or sex here?
Both, I guess.
Sorry. I'm just being quizzed with a whole bunch of questions. It's really happened at the wrong time. Oh well, about the same then. 6 or 7.
6.5?
Let's just say 6.
What happened with number 7? So let's do an amused noise. I seem to think for a moment that she strokes her chin.
Oh, it was nothing too serious. Just this guy who worked at the gym I went to. I believe he was a draft horse?
My mouth goes a little dry. A draft horse?
Sorry, I'm just going to reply to this.
So, take him away from me anymore.
Most of mine.
Oh, most of the stuff in the bag there is yours. It wasn't that full to begin with.
Oh, sorry.
It's alright.
It wasn't my teasers.
Yes, of course it was, mate.
There we go. It's like, do's or don'ts for a guild. I'm like, mate, there's like 6 of us in the guild. We just kind of vibe. Ask if you need help.
I'd like to go smoke, but this conversation is too intriguing.
She smiles lightly.
He was really sweet, and the muscles were nice. Usually I don't like being picked up, but it was definitely interesting, with him being nearly 7 feet tall.
I stare blankly at her, eyes wide. She dares to smile at me though the corner of her mouth twitches and she brings her paw up to cover her muzzle.
Chase, I'm messing with you.
Jenna. I scowl. Wait, is that really your type? I thought you'd be more like twiggy anime boys.
I'll have you know my manga and anime interests do not control my love life. I like people primarily based off their personality.
Oh, I'm fucked then. Jenna chuckles at that. She reaches out and takes my paw, giving it a firm squeeze for patting my cheek. Though it feels nice, I'm still not sure how to take all this.
Tapping back. I'm sorry for messing with you.
Her voice is also clear and soft. She punctuates the end of her sentence with a kiss on the tip of my nose.
I'm admittedly a little nervous myself. Crossing new thresholds like this can be a little nerve-wracking. But make no mistake, I do want this.
Let that settle for a moment before reaching up, taking hold of each of her wrists. Wait, are you serious? She nods happily.
Sorry, tapping again. If you're okay with it, of course.
Really? You and me? She nods again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, boyfriend and girlfriend? The thought entered my head before I speak it, and I have just enough time to close my mouth before it's uttered. She looks at me curiously. Just shut up and say yes. Yeah, I'm down with that. Yeah.
The realization that you're going to a very slightly straight relationship. Oh God.
Metaphor. Yo, you guys having fun? I glanced in at Jenna, her legs still entwined in my own. I quickly try and untangle us, scooting to the other side of the couch while yanking up my shorts. She's got a firm grip on my tail for some reason. I have to grip my teeth from yelping as it tugs. Groggily, I begin to see her turquoise eyes flutter open, blinking her surroundings, then me, then sound coming from the entrance hall.
Sorry. Ugh.
She rubs her face, trying to shake off the sleep fatigue.
What'd you say?
There's some clattering noises from the kitchen coming from... There's some clattering noises from the kitchen coming from the kitchen. Okay, that just took me a second to read that, okay. There's some clattering noises from the kitchen coming from the kitchen, like a rustling of plastic bags and the clacking of Tupperware. Did he not see us? Thank fuck he's a lizard and can't smell us at least. I asked if you fuckers have been having fun. It's midday.
Look, Flynn, you got our texts. We were up late last night searching for Carl.
Yeah, and making yourself at home here. What do you got over there? Hentai? I check the TV. It's frozen, the guide menu, screen grabber for frantic anime girl holding way more bowls of soup than is ordinarily considered reasonable. Jenna yawns into her paw quietly, pulling up a black pair of panties around her thighs, followed by a trademark jean shorts. She's so lackadaisy about it that she doesn't care if she's caught. Her expression is distracted, but not by Flynn or me. Though she does manage a quick smile in my direction when she does focus her gaze my way. I return the smile, albeit lopsidedly. Half my face still feels tingly and asleep. So we're dead fucking certain that Doak doesn't know shit about it then. God damn it. I hear the heavy footfalls of the Gallia leave the kitchen, making his way around to us. He's holding 4 small plastic containers. He gives us 2 each, setting them down on the coffee table. The insides are fogged up from condensation or steam. I can't tell exactly what they contain. It looks green, I guess. Flynn sees me gawking and lets an exasperated puff of air through his flared nostrils. The top container's got Caesar salad. The bottom's got freshly cooked bluegill. Bluegill? I blink at the steamy container. You catch that yourself? Yeah. He perks a brow ridge. And you cooked it just for us? The line of questions seems to give the ghillie a pause if he needs to make sure he phrases his next word carefully. Jenna smirks in my direction before blowing her nose with a tissue. Usually I drop some off for Carl. He folds his arms over his chest. You know, to make sure he doesn't go on a full-on diabetic coma. His arteries packed with pizza and energy drinks.
Having again. That's very thoughtful of you, Flynn.
Yeah, thanks, man. I give him a thumbs up, which he just shakes his head. Whatever.
Sorry.
Any word from the sheriff's office? Jenna reaches into her shorts and grabs her phone. She taps at it for a few moments before shaking her head.
Nothing since yesterday. The person I spoke with at the office said they would reach out to me with any questions or updates they had.
God, fucking useless. They're still goddamn overstaffed there anyway. How hard can it be to find one fat-ass rich kid in the middle of vast fucking nowhere?
Apparently rather difficult.
Just waiting for Carl's parents to post the reward money or something.
I don't think public entries get to claim these sorts of things.
Flynn scowls at Jenna for a good 4 seconds before turning away, walking to the grand living room window and peering out the backyard. Well, yeah, I fucking know that. They just don't make a lick of sense. No food, cars or cell phone missing, nothing valuable stolen, no break-in indications. Besides the scuff marks you made on the way in.
Flynn, if I hadn't gone through the window, Leah would have just eventually shouldered around the front door down.
Flynn folds his hands behind his back, clenching his eyes shut. Yeah. God, what a fucking crazy ass. At least his desperate party attempt to help us figure out Carl was missing earlier. Jenna pushes herself to her feet, walking over beside Flynn. She folds her arms over her chest.
So we briefly skimmed over this yesterday, but with regards to Carl's mental state leading up to all of this...
Flynn ever so slightly shifts his head in the Phoenix direction. Their size difference stark as they stand silhouetted in front of the window.
Is there anything you can think of that would help us get out here?
Anything to cause Carl to say fuck it and run out into the desert without any belongings, you mean?
Yes.
Jenna answers flatly. He's been depressed as hell, but that's how he's been ever since he dropped out of college. All that digital art stuff he used to do, he hasn't done much of that either lately. Whenever I check my phone or computer, he's always online, just sending me memes and shit all day. Despite my efforts, there ain't been much in the line of indication he's been planning on changing that routine anytime soon.
Sorry, I'm being quizzed. I'm sorry to hear that.
She sounds genuine to that regard, letting out a quiet sigh. Ain't nothing you could do about it from fancy college land. I'm trying to get my ass off the couch silently, hoping that I hadn't left the surface all oily. I think he's been getting high more. Says it chills him out. Helps with the nightmares and shit. Nightmares? Flynn nods. Yeah, he's been going off on how his house is haunted. Says things that get weird whenever he goes to bed. Weird how? Flynn is starting to look increasingly exasperated at my continued prodding. He evidently wants to shift focus back to the search effort. Fuck, Chase, I don't know. Bumps in the night, creepy children whispers, distant laughing, that sort of thing. Says he only heard them when he was about to fall asleep or when he was waking up, so he can never investigate.
Interesting.
Really?
You said that getting high was how he coped with this newfound paranoia?
I had to sleep over once and my whole room smelled like skunk weed for a fucking week.
He slept over because he was afraid to be here, in the house?
No, he stayed over because I was plowing his ass. His tone laden with sarcasm, even I find myself snickering a bit at the shock. Jenna doesn't laugh though, meeting Flynn's gaze with an indiscernible expression. The ghillie clears his throat, scratching at his stomach. Yeah, he was afraid to be here. I know enough about Carl's family to know that this house is seriously old. His great something or other is the town founder after all. The place has been seriously modernised into a more stucco adobe style, but there's some more definite history underneath all of this. Growing up, Carl started to think there were ghosts in the house. It freaked him out pretty badly. So much so his parents basically begged me to have sleepovers with them during the weekends and even some weekdays. Not that I minded, of course. Carl had all the video game consoles that were out. His parents bought him M-rated games. I got to stay up late with his giant TV blowing up aliens and running over hookers. I remember he started to become less afraid as time went on. His parents stopped asking me to come over as much. So of course, shitbag younger me told Carl a bunch of stories about a ghost bride who I saw standing outside his house at midnight. And that's how I got to spend my whole 5th grade summer vacation living at Carl's place. The fact that Carl was still freaked out by this sort of thing is pretty concerning.
Well, to be quite fair, if I had the mindset that my house was haunted and saw whatever was going on the phone out of my window...
She pauses, shaking her head.
I'd probably be rather freaked out as well.
Yeah, but would you run outside? That doesn't make any sense. You'd think this place would get more ransacked if there was a fucking kidnapping or something. You don't try and kidnap your fucking around without getting some serious dents or scratches in the drywall. The idea of Carl being assaulted like this is starting to give me serious pit at the bottom of my stomach.
Well, you did find some scattered plaster dust and the marks on the wall near the basement crawl space.
Yeah, maybe that could have been an initial scuffle down there and he was, like gunpoint or something? There was a look of sudden shock and the direness of my words that flashed across Finn's face. Anxiety, fear, concern, all expressions seldom seen on the lizard. He quickly stifles them, adopting his usual disgruntled demeanour, emitting forth a familiar grunt in response.
Sorry, I'm really being quizzed here. Guys, I think we're escalating here. No offense to you, Chase, but I think I might want to have a chat with Jeremy myself. You can come along, of course. Same to you, Flynn.
Despite Jenna's assurances of non-offence, I can't help but feel a little shitty about not pressing harder for information while I was there. I mean, fuck, I want to be a journalist, right? Can't be getting all intimidated by childhood bullies. Flynn nods, but only slightly. Yeah, but Chase said he told him the drugs he sold weren't laced.
Laced drugs wouldn't result in that image on the phone.
Shit, I haven't talked to that flunk ass in so fucking long.
You're always a bit too old to get the brunt of a sadistic side when we were growing up.
I thought that was mainly Clint.
They all rubbed off on each other easily enough.
Flynn pulls out his phone, a rather dated first-gen looking thing from the late 2000s. He pecks at it with his large fingers, walking off towards the foyer. Gonna text TJ and Pinball Smasher that we're together and asking around.
Okay. No, need to be more specific than that. Blech.
Trust me, it wasn't about to tell him where we're heading till we're done.
Poor TJ. I'll make sure to text him, make sure he's alright.
We start to head out as well when he suddenly calls out back to us. Oh, and bring your goddamn lunch. It took me for fucking ever to put that together. Are you nervous? I ask, trying to break the silence. Flynn takes his eyes off the road long enough to peer back at me through the rearview mirror, then glances over at Jenna. She's riding shotgun, cradling her fishy Tupperware in her lap so it doesn't spill.
I already told you I wouldn't mind seeing Jeremy again.
What about you, Flynn? Why are you asking me? They weren't my bullies. Not sure that's exactly true. I have distinct memories of Tetanus Alley crew calling him all sorts of slurs back in the day. Hell, they even started rumor he was some kind of sadomasochistic gay rapist. Said rumour somehow wormed its way out of Echo to our high school. Remember there was a whole thing where he got called into the council's office about it. He proceeded to call the councillor a wretched gashed cunt and got 1 week suspension. It wasn't ever clear if any of that shit stuck. He certainly never cried about it like TJ did. Sounds more like you're the one with the issues. I frowned. I'm gonna spill bluegill all over your seats. You'll be scrubbing the upholstery with my foot up your ass if you haven't opened the goddamn limit of my truck.
Chase already spoke with them. He said you only saw Jeremy, Heather, and Mika, right?
Jenna looks back at me and I nod. Mika, he was back in town a while ago. Never expected he'd turn up again after, 7 years?
Have you gone by to say hello?
There's a hint of teasing in her voice responding to Gilia's latent disdain for the kid that's evident in his tone. He stole my fucking dirt bike.
He stole your fucking dirt bike 8 years ago.
Well, he's still a kind of shithead when I visited him yesterday. Yeah? See the back of Flynn's scaly head cant curiously. What'd he do? Well, he didn't do anything to me, I guess. He just seemed like he hated my guts. I tried calling him out on his shit, but he wasn't having any of it. He call you a faggot? Of course. Eh. He smirks into the rearview mirror at me.
Glad to see this is also amusing to you.
I'm allowed to think whatever the fuck I want is amusing. Are you gonna ask for your dirt bike back? I ask, half joking, half trying to break the tension. I did get it back, remember? Little shit dented the fuck out of it and put his weird punk band stickers all over the body, but I got it back. Literally all I had to do was go to the house and talk with his parents to get it back. Should have pressed charges. Which house was that again?
It was the yellow Scuto one at the end of Jasmine, one of the older buildings they constructed during World War II. His and mine were the only houses down there that aren't RVs or mobile homes. I believe it was condemned and demolished a couple years ago, right, Flynn?
Flynn nods, turning off onto a dirt road. Oh yeah, the roof was caving in. Electrical was a fucking hazard and the pipes were lead-based.
Sorry. I've got like several messages going on. So, lead-based? I thought that was banned before then.
Major cities did. Technically it wasn't in the building code until the 80s. Jenna frowns to herself. Let's just focus on the missing ram, alright? We drive in silence for a while until we see some smoke rising up from behind one of the older trailers. The hell is going on? Flynn pulls over. The desolate, smoky smell of burnt mesquite pods wafts through the air. It's actually kind of pleasant. Flynn takes out his cell phone, stepping out of his truck and hustling his way up to the source of the smoke. Jenna and I exchange a quick look before following in his wake. The aroma grows stronger as we round the abandoned trailer and make our way to the outcropping overlooking the rest of the area. There's even a slight apple-like smell mixed in. As we round the bend, I can see a few lawn chairs spread around the crackling bonfire. Some of the chairs have faded princess print designs, while the others are more traditional camping variety. Next to them is the fluorescent orange cooler and the portable grill-looking thing that looks kinda like a toaster oven. Don't think they got the permit for this. Think you were Heather?
I believe so. What? Oh, hi!
The high-pitched voice comes from behind, and the next thing we know there's a feline bounding up towards us. I see Jenna recoil some, the fennec lingering a bit behind the rest of us. Flynn meanwhile looks stone-faced, his hands in his pockets. Hello? I was here the other day, but we have some more questions about Carl, if that's alright?
You were?
She stares at me for a long moment. Too long, actually. Flynn audibly sighs.
Oh, I know you. You're Leo's boyfriend, right? Ex-boyfriend.
Jenna chimes in, but seems to visibly regret it as if Heather's attention swivels to her.
Oh my god, Jasmine, hi!
She rushes over to Jenna, wrapping her arms around her in a tight hug.
You look really good. Thanks.
Jenna doesn't correct her on the name change for some reason. Instead, she very gingerly pats Heather on the back before withdrawing back a foot.
I didn't shower this morning, so it's a wonder if it's if true. Neither did I.
Astonishing. Where's Jeremy at?
Oh, hi, Flynn.
Heather waves at him despite the Gilead being literally only a couple of feet away. Flynn furrows his brow some and limply waves his hand before stuffing it back in his pocket.
Yeah? Oh, I made a joke a while ago, and he got really offended and walked off. It was so dumb.
Where'd he walk off, though?
I don't know. Oh, let me get you guys a drink. We're having a Who party.
Before anyone can say anything, she turns to you and scampers off, her demeanour like an excited child. Once we're alone, I broach the obvious question. What's a Who party? Jenna looks over at me and shrugs. Meanwhile, Flynn squints at the land around him, folding his arms over his chest and mumbling to himself. Whose property is this? I thought she lived with her dad, the one who works the dam. The lizard sucks in his tongue and quickly shakes his head, the question evidently rhetorical.
She does seem different, though, doesn't she? I wasn't expecting the compliments after, well, how she treated me before.
The next thing we know, the feeling returning with 3 beers clutched to her chest.
Hurry, 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 take them. They're really cold and getting my shirt wet.
I blink and quickly step up to take one, kind of awkwardly sliding it between my forearm and her cleavage. I'm not particularly hankering for a beer right now, admittedly, but I didn't exactly want to leave her hanging. After a moment of hesitation, Flynn and Jenna also take a beer.
You guys can have a seat right next to the bonfire, too.
I glance over at the bonfire. It's pretty small, only about 2 or 3 feet high. Why anyone would want to hang out near a bonfire during a 90-degree springtime heatwave is beyond me.
Some of the chairs are kind of small, though, since they're for little girls. They're not very good for big boys.
She looks up at Flynn, who stands nearly a foot and a half taller than her. The phrasing's so strange, and her smiling gaze lingers way too long. What? I'm fine standing. Flynn shifts uncomfortably. She does know he's gay, right?
Yeah, I recognize them. Those are mine.
She pointed to the princess chair, specifically one of the female cat in a blue dress and tiara, surrounded by chirping woodland birds.
Or were. Oh, wow. Do you want them back? No. Why not?
Jenna stares blankly at her. Look, Heather, when was the last time you saw Carl?
Oh,
She scratches herself, looking off to the side.
I don't know. You should wait for Jet. He'd have an answer for you. In fact, I'll go look for him for you.
Flynn steps up, his brow ridge is furrowed. It's a simple, goddamn question I'm asking you, specific like. When was the last time you saw Carl? Heather reels back as Flynn's tone grows more stern, the cat clutching at her own arms.
I don't know.
You know who Carl is? You blew him in high school?
What? No, that was Tanya. Carl's gross.
As I recall, Heather briefly dated TJ, not Carl. It was a weird coupling with her being a couple years older, though I guess I had no room to speak there. She's kind of mean to everyone, so it wasn't surprising that they split. Ending up dating one of Leo's friends in the football team, if I remember right. Fucking whatever. Flynn waves off the correction. I remember taking an investigative journalism course freshman year that discussed interviewing techniques used by the police department. It included the big comprehensive list of tells for someone lying or obfuscating the truth. The way Heather's acting fits the description of a lot of the aforementioned. Wait, Heather, you're like best friends with Jeremy. Heather still looks like she's about to bolt, but responds regardless.
He's cool, but what does that...
And he sells pot around here. Jenna looks over at me, seemingly curious about where I'm going with this.
Do you, need a plug? Because I don't get involved with any of that. I don't know anything.
I quickly shake my head. No, like, you're around him when he does that sort of thing. Were you there when he sold to Carl last? She shifts her posture some like a cat, scratching behind her ear as her whiskers bristle. She cuts herself off, trying to think of the right words.
They don't want me talking about this sort of thing with other people. Especially you guys, since you all hate us. Who on earth is messaging me this much? I'm supposed to say that I don't know anything, but I do. I'm not stupid.
Her voice is raised now, like she's clutching her fists against her stomach. Yeah, I get that, you know. It's totally cool. You're a fucking brainiac for sure.
Shut up!
She screeches at Flynn, the Gilead covering his ear holes with a wince. Jesus fucking Christ. Just ignore him, okay? He just wants to find our friend, we're really worried. Her dilated pupils flick back and forth between the two of us. There's another long silence.
Huh. They already left the guild. Why did I spend that long talking with them? I give up. Like Keith?
That name again. It sounds familiar. I look to Flynn and Jenna to see if it's ringing any bells with them. I'm not getting anything from Flynn, but Jenna frowns some.
Hopefully not like Keith. That's why we're all here now.
Heather's shifting gaze meets Jenna's, holding there for a moment before refocusing to me.
I was eating apple smoking jerky with Joe when Carl texted that he needed some stuff. He did the deal, but nothing special happened, I don't think.
So nothing out of the ordinary? Heather thinks in silence for a while. Flynn meanwhile bites the cap off his beer and takes a swig.
Clint and Mika came by later and kept being real weird and pushy. Well, like Clint was, Mika just stole my jerky, but that was kind of how he usually is.
Pushy? How? About Carl?
I think so.
Wait, really? Flynn stops mid-drink, looking on in anticipation following her statement.
Yeah. It was like about money stuff, which I don't pay attention to. I don't really use money that much anymore. I'm kind of aesthetic.
Okay, but do you remember anything specific?
I think so. I was calling Mika out for the jerky thing, but he just kept ignoring me. Clint keeps talking over me, and then I got mad at him, and he started whispering to Mika. It was super rude, so I don't really remember it well. It's actually been, like, really hard to remember things lately.
Oh. That's about all I can really think to respond with. As I look over and see Jenna tapping away at her phone, typing something. She peers up only for a moment, just long enough to give me a soft smile and a nod. She's been writing all this down. Flynn, meanwhile, is putting in an active effort to keep his mouth shut. He's waiting and me expecting this to continue. Before I can follow up, Heather starts speaking again, this time to Jenna.
I don't really remember, like, why we didn't get along. Because the name Jasmine pops in my head, and I'm like, oh, that bitch. But I just saw you now, and it just seems so silly, doesn't it?
Jenna doesn't even react to Heather at all at first. She shuts off the screen of her phone and exhales, looking Heather in the eye. She doesn't speak immediately, then there's sort of latent tension in the air.
Yeah. It's a bit silly now. We're all very much grown up here. And I appreciate the hospitality. You know, actually, we've got some spare Blue Girl in the car.
Spare? Flynn grunts.
Flynn caught and cooked it himself.
Flynn looks less disgruntled after being credited, though it's clear he really intended the food to be for us.
Oh, Bluegill is good. I really like walleye, though.
I just got bluegill. I got some bass at home, but I didn't bring it. Also, walleye ain't really in season.
That sucks. Cool, you caught and cooked it, though. That's really rustic. I usually just get some from the gas station.
You're welcome.
As for the issues with remembering things, I'm not quite licensed to be issuing diagnoses. But I did briefly volunteer at a memory centre up in Peyton. I actually think I have a card here still in the bottom of my purse.
Jenna digs through her handbag for a moment before withdrawing a faded little card. Heather takes it, peering over some visible trepidation at clinical text and brain imagery imprinted on it.
If you can get a ride up there on a weekday, they generally do walk-ins. The clerk there, a super nice horse guy named Jason. He can help with get you set up with a Medicard to pay for it if you're not already covered.
Horse guy?
Oh, that's super neat, thank you. It would be really cool if they could, like, let me pick and choose which memories I get to keep, though.
Jenna smiles, flickering a sense of melancholy behind her turquoise eyes.
It would be nice, wouldn't it? Of course, the challenges and traumas we overcome shape who we are today. Oh yeah, totally. So double bummer if you're not exactly happy with who you are today, right, Jazz? Haha.
She lets out a sad-sounding giggle. At the corner of my eye, I see Flynn blink some, then peer offward awkwardly. He spits in the ground, a faint smell of his venom wafting in the breeze for a moment. I'm guessing he bit that cap too hard. Jenna opens her mouth to respond, but she pauses. Her ear flicks some and she folds her arms over her chest.
Yeah, double bummer. Let me go get that bluegill. I'll be right back. Oh, okay.
Jenna heads back towards the truck and we're left standing awkwardly with Heather.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna go get the others real quick, so... Bye!
Before we can say anything further, she takes off again. In the distance I can see her start running, her arms flailing like with a palsy-like limpness at her sides. I can't help but feel a sort of queasy sensation at the sight. This is what this place does to people. Jenna returns with the Tupperware, letting it alongside she's Heather in the distance. Props to you for not just smacking the shit out of her. That was weirdly cordial, considering.
Oh, no, part of me wanted to, trust me.
That made things harder for this whole questioning business, for sure.
Well, there was that, and I suppose I was thinking about what you told me when we were walking here earlier, Chase.
Flynn raises a brow ridge, waiting for her to explain. She does not. I get the feeling you guys have a more intense history than I thought.
I tried not to talk about it too much back in the day. Back then, she was rude to me, even when I'd done nothing wrong to her. I figured she was just insecure and left it at that. Then, one night, she came to me with no one else to turn to, tears in her eyes. She claimed she had some pretty serious problems going on at home and wanted to tell me about it. From that point forward, I was ready to defend her, to help in any way I could. Short of going to the police, of course. She begged me not to. It started out as little things, the favours. She was too emotionally distressed to do her homework, so I did it. She couldn't even come to class because of a panic attack, and the teacher wouldn't understand, so I lied for her. She needed money to see a friend in Payton, so I gave her what little money I had. This went on for some time until eventually enough was enough. I had my own problems, especially at home, and I couldn't just juggle the well-being of everyone. That's not my responsibility. I told her up front that I was going through a tough time and couldn't do these favors anymore, but I was always available to talk. That wasn't good enough, of course. Despite being busy with her fractured home life and stresses of school, she still found time to create elaborate revenge on the one person who cared enough to help. Next thing I know, her latest boyfriend of the week and his friends are pounding on my front door at 11 p.m. 10 p.m. And what does he tell Mum and Dad when they open the door?
She deepens her voice, putting on a dude bro accent.
Yeah, I'm looking for Jasmine. She told us to meet out here to get some. So not only did they convince my idiotic parents that I was fucking 5 guys, including her boyfriend, she told the whole school. I had my paw smashed in a locker, was fired from my part-time job, lost almost all my friends outside of you guys.
Jenna gestures to both of us.
She made herself the sufferer in that narrative, the one who had mistakenly trusted the weird, horny anime girl.
Jenna takes in a sharp breath from her nostrils, her composure otherwise completely solid.
And she didn't even have the dignity to atone for her actions when the chance was standing right in front of her. She continues to lie and manipulate her way through every social interaction to make herself feel better. It's the perpetuation of this endless cycle of perceiving herself as a sort of eternal victim, when in reality it's the complete delusion that hurts her and everyone around her.
With the way Jenna rattles off point after point regarding Heather's transgressions, it's evident this is something she's thought about greatly. Maybe she even rehearsed. I can't believe you never told me any of this.
When I was hanging out with you guys, that whole drama was the last thing I wanted to think about. You know, it was actually Leo who kept prodding me that something was wrong and insisted he help. I suppose he meant well enough.
Down the hills away is a dusty shape of 2 figures can be seen emerging from an old shed. One of them pauses as he sees Heather sprinting up the road, sprinting off down the road, but the other ignores her and carries on. Eventually, though, both of them seize us and begin making their way in our direction. Well, here comes the gang. I sidestep over to Jenna, lowering my voice some. But are you okay? Jenna seems slightly surprised at the question, giving me a light smile.
But maybe one day she'll realize what she did, even if it's not today. So, put it simply, I'm good, Chase. Thank you for the concern. After
what she just expressed, there's a bit of oversimplification, but I'm not going to press the issue. She probably really wants the catharsis. Jeremy. So what, you come back with your posse to intimidate us or whatever? Jeremy's dull eyes are focused on me. I'm starting to feel increasingly intrusive, standing next to the bonfire with the beer. This is definitely the sort of shit that would get me smacked down as a kid.
Is he here?
Smaller bat whispers to Jeremy, seeming to be walking directly behind him as if staying out of sight. No, man. Mika lets out a relieved sigh, and after a moment the familiar white fuzzy form of Mika emerges from behind the returned Fennec. He's clutching something though, a long piece of rebar. I first think he's holding it like some sort of self-defense weapon, but then notice the hot white ash coated to the end. I guess it's a mixture of poker for the bonfire.
Hello, Jeremy.
Hey sis. Man, I'd like to ask how you've been, but I'm assuming good, right?
Generally speaking, yes. Where's Heather?
Oh, she said she had to go do something real quick. I think she'll be back.
Well, like I said, I'm well enough. However, we are still looking for Carl, as Chase here made you aware yesterday.
Jeremy looks over at me with tepid expression, faint outlines of grimace forming on the edge of his muzzle. Really? Really? Flynn steps up with the Gilead tall enough that his shadow falls directly over the smaller Fennec. Whoa, Rockabilly, I didn't see you much out here. I don't see you much out here. Fucking wonder why. Mika glares at him from across the bonfire, the shifty-looking bat increasingly agitated by our presence.
We told Schizo what we knew yesterday. Evidently not, and yeah, don't call him that.
Jeremy lets out an amused noise. Although it's clear he's getting a bit tense, especially with Flynn's looming form. Heather was saying you all were talking to Carl after the drop all secretive like. Shortly after he fucking disappears, your tit-dirts want to extrapolate on that? Jeremy lets out an astonished puff of air, peer past Jenna at me. Wow, don't you? You really fucking go crying to your friends for help. I feel a little knot starting to form in my stomach and I resist the urge to clench my fists. I'm just trying to find Carl. He's your friend too, right? Fuck no. Rich tits don't have got any love in these parts. Didn't even think the guy had friends anymore after you two left. He points at Jenna and I. Flynn scowls but says nothing.
Yo, does Mummy Man know you're here?
We're just looking up at Flynn now.
Because I won't be harassed, bitch.
Flynn actually laughs, exasperated beyond measure. Kid, you shut your mouth before I call your parents.
I'm nearly 21 now, you can't do shit.
Wow. He's that old? Yeah, and I can call the sheriff on you for trespassing an unpermitted building during fire season, and they'll charge you as an adult.
Then why is your faggot ass here instead of them, huh?
Jenna rubs her temples with both paws.
Okay, let's put a stop to that. We apologise for intruding on your Aho party, but we wouldn't be here if it wasn't serious. This ain't serious to me. Seems like a big joke seeing you clowns back together. Mika, enough.
Her tone is so stern and maternal that it visibly catches the bat off guard. He seems surprised that she even remembers his name.
Look, let's just have a seat, alright?
Alright sis, whatever you say. Mika blinks at Jeremy's response and grumbles quietly.
Yeah, whatever.
The bat looks over his shoulder before moving to one of the camping chairs, taking a seat. Jeremy does as well. Both seem to make conscious effort not to sit in the princess one. Flynn takes another swig from his beer and joins them. I hesitate a bit, but Jenna beckons me forward. As I sit, the singeing burn from the fire mixed with the glaring heat in the sun above, I feel kind of like I'm slowly being cooked. It's incredibly uncomfortable, but I seem to be the only person bothered. Well, by the heat, that is. I got empanados in the mini oven. Is that an offer?
It's a threat.
What?
Dumbass. Boys.
Mika shifts in his seat and keeps looking at Jeremy as if wondering why he's even humouring this. He miserably pokes the fire with his rebar, sparks flinging forth and dissipating in the desert dust. Jeremy meanwhile scoots his chair over and peers inside the little toaster oven looking thing. It's hooked up on what looks like a 50-foot extension cord that goes through the shuttered window of the nearby trailer. Yeah, they probably need a little bit more time cooking anyway.
Now, about Carl.
About Carl. Yeah, I didn't want to tell you, you know. He gesticulates towards me. He's been really depressed as of late. I mean, anyone would get that impression if they talked to him a little. I think, like, once you're so rich, you have everything you want, you don't need to work, it fucks with you. Life alone ain't good enough, man. No, if you know what's good for you, this stays between us, cool? He looks from Jenna to Flynn and finally to me. Mika is staring hard at Jeremy, the runty bat's lips thinned over his little fangs. Sure? Yeah, whatever.
I suppose it depends.
Flynn sighs loudly, placing his face in his hands. We didn't do nothing to Carl direct, like. He just kept telling me you want to feel something, you know? Didn't care what it was, didn't care what it did to him. I kept telling him, like, nah man, you're too soft for this, but he wasn't having it. So I let him, I gave him like a sample bag. I thought you told me you didn't give him anything else. I said I didn't give him anything laced. There's a difference, yo. Plus I figured you would have found his tweaking fat ass by now. A sample bag of what? Flynn practically growls. Speed. You gave Carl meth. Carl asked for fucking meth. That's horseshit. Don't know what to tell you, man. You must not know him as well as you think. Carl and meth? Doesn't make any sense. Carl got really into the enlightened drug use thing at high school, but he was never on board with stuff that hard. Yes, I know meth and speed are entirely different things. Don't think this game
I
knows
thought
that.
they were as well. Like, speed's heroin, right?
Speed is, it's not...
Amphetamines.
Yeah, it's amphetamines.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's not one
I
I've
was
ever
just
tried,
nodding
I'll be
happily,
honest with
going
you.
like, yes. It's like, I think Meow's had better experiences on amphetamines than I had. My experience on amphetamines was, yeah.
Look, my
Not
ADHD
one I've had
medication
any
was
experience
basically
of.
amphetamines.
What was that, Rowan, sorry?
Not one I've had any experience with.
Yeah. I mean, I've had weird experience with a lot of drugs over the years, but that's because people I used to hang around with were cunts. Which is why,
Yeah.
as I told the story before, I got my drink spiked with acid and stuff like that before and things, because they thought it'd be funny.
Yeah, that's one I've never tried. It's
Yeah.
mostly, for me, like, I've tried weed, I've tried mushrooms. I think I did a line once, nothing happened. My nose
Yeah.
tasted of hairspray. That was
Yeah.
fucking useless. I don't get that one
That's
at
about
all.
the same thing I had in cocaine. I literally tried it once and I was like, this does nothing to me other than I just feel kind of slightly burning in the head.
Cocaine
I didn't even
wants
get
to-
that. I just, my nose tasted of hairspray. I don't know how else to explain it.
What was that, man?
Cocaine just made me want to stab people. for no
Yeah,
reason.
cocaine's a weird one. I never really got how it,
Yeah.
but I think it
Yeah,
just...
it's not one I would ever put any merit to.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even see the appeal.
Yeah.
You know?
I think also because it takes a lot of basically drug to affect me in most things, because I've got so many layers of mental self-control. It's things like I can smoke so much weed and it doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
I never got addicted to cigarettes, even if I could smoke like 40 cigarettes and then quit stone cold the next day and not get any cravings. It was literally, I just don't have the addictive personality stuff for drugs.
Yeah.
But I never
Yeah,
did
no,
anything
I never get hooked on anything either.
Yeah, I never did anything with needles because I was like, no, absolutely fucking not. But I'm pretty sure I've
Yeah.
tried everything else over the years anyway.
Anything with needles, that can go wrong so easily, like
Yeah.
just bloodborne illness.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Dirty needles are one of those things like, no, you do not fuck with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, of course, we've both done like medicine in some way or another, care and nursing. So we are very aware, more
Yeah.
than probably most, of the dangers.
I mean, when I started my tramadol, I was expecting to at least have a buzz from it, but no, nothing. Just,
Yeah, some
Yeah,
people
he said
just
about
don't.
my
It's a
gabapentin
thing.
as well.
what's that mean?
He said about my gabapentin as well.
Yeah, I mean, my mum is literally one of the most, she will get like, my mum is very easily affected by drugs. Like, you give her something that she's never had before and she will literally be, like, they gave her one gabapentin, like a small gabapentin, and she was like, totally like, spaced on it. Whereas, like me, I'm on like 8 tramadol a day, and it does nothing for me, even when I was, like, when I first was taking, like, the first day I took like 8 in a day, it did nothing for me. I got no buzz at all. And all I really get from it is like, I'm aware of my pain, I just don't care, which is a hilarious way to be in life.
I mean, chronic pain makes you that way, you know?
Tramadol makes it very
Like-
much like that, because you're literally aware of your pain, you just don't care. It's not even like it's a painkiller, it's just literally just like dulls your sort of sense of, you know, I'm in pain and it bothers me.
Yeah. But also, like, if you're in chronic pain, you tend to just kind of power through it a lot more.
Yeah.
Like, your threshold goes a lot higher.
Yep.
Like, it's nothing compared to yours, but, like, I have had back pain since I was, like, 12. Just because of boobs.
Yep. I mean,
And,
boobs have a lot to answer for with chronic back pain.
Yes, yes. And with the ridiculous size that I have, that, my god, needs to get chopped off. It takes a lot to kind of bother me with it now. Like, I will just kind of power through it because it's like, it's happening again.
Yeah.
I've got vasospasm there again.
Yeah.
Cool. I can complain, but it won't do anything. Just gotta keep going, you know?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a small tangent about drugs. Let us get back to the
Hey,
story.
look, it was relevant. It was relevant.
It was.
We're allowed to have weird
we do a
tangents.
little bit of social commentary, so yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Flynn was fuming in his seat. Even Jenna looks perplexed.
Jeremy, where are you getting meth? Yeah, that's enough questions.
Yeah, like out of respect for your situation and stuff, I thought you should know. But we ain't got anything more than that. God damn it.
Flynn's face is pulled in a silent snarl, eyes clenched shut. Jenna's just frowning to herself, her phone in her lap. No one says anything for a while. I have a million questions, but I don't think they'll answer any of them. For some reason, the first thing out my mouth is, what's in a whole party? Jonathan and Mika both look at me with quizzical expressions.
Something that Keith came up with?
Yeah, means like happy in Missetton or something. Well, not exactly happy, something more profound than that, I'm sure. Everything had a fucking deeper meaning with him, didn't it?
Jeremy lets out a mirthless snark, the Fennec grabbing a few paper towels before taking the empanadas out and setting them on the small tray. Yeah, but who's Keith?
How the shit do you not remember Keith?
Right. This jumper's not on right.
Let me take it and fix it then.
No, you hold him.
Mika looks downright offended. He sounds familiar, but I can't put a face to the name.
Well, you're in luck, Muskman.
I'm not sure what he means until I see him move to pick up something sitting on one of the half-folded up camping chairs. There's a picture frame with a bunch of different pieces of handwriting on the back. To my surprise, he walks over and hands it to me. What the fuck is this? In the frame, there's a pretty elaborate picture of a stoned-looking fox guy. It's a ratty lifeguard bucket hat and wearing an oversized hoodie with a stylized eye on it. I feel like I've seen him before, but only in passing. You bring this with you everywhere?
Just the bonfires. Kind of a super old tradition we picked up after what happened. I know it's like super culty creepy and shit, but Keith would have thought it was neat. He was all about that moral support, big brother vibe.
What happened to him? The question's blunt and it seems like one hell of a sensitive topic for these guys, but I'm now genuinely curious.
He went missing. One day he's here slinging dope and playing foosball with us at the moldy shack he ran a bar out of. Next he's gone. Nope.
Nobody knew where he went?
Nope. Next thing we knew, Mika poofed as well.
The bat looked guilty, squirming in his seat.
We didn't expect you to show back up, though. Same goes to you, I guess.
He looks over at Jenna. She responds with a polite smile and nothing more. Who's Clint? Like, who's doing Clint?
Do you want me to?
Yeah, sure.
Did I do a voice for him before?
I don't remember.
I don't think so. What sort of voice should I do? Do you want me to do an Irish accent? Haven't done one of those yet.
That's fine. Do an Irish one.
What's going on here?
I hear Clint's voice as he Mika quickly sit upright, visibly startled.
There they are. Look, I told you. I didn't tell him anything.
Heather is tugging at the weasel's tank top, but Clint quickly smacks her hand away. Clint looks like death. Emaciated,
Oh, that was Clint.
dishevelled, teeth rotting out of his head, fur falling out and pink lesions dotting his flesh. Jeremy and Mika both look pretty rough, but nowhere near as bad as him. I quickly hand the Fennec his picture back.
We were just leaving.
Jenna pulls her purse tight to her side and stands up.
Thank you for your hospitality. It was good seeing you again, Jeremy. I should fucking kill the three of you right here. You little cunts. Get the fuck out now. Go, go, go! Get him a fucking gun, I'm getting it.
Clint stomps off towards a nearby trailer, swearing up a storm.
Oh shit.
Mika quickly refocuses attention to the rest of us.
Yeah, get the hell out of here.
I half expect Flynn to start shouting back, but instead I look over, he's already up. Gilliam making a clicking noise and gesturing his head towards the truck.
No, Clint, it's okay, I swear.
I quickly get out of my seat and fast walk to catch up with him. Jenna does the same.
What the hell?
That's all Jenna can say as she shakes her head in disbelief. We hop in Flynn's ride and take off without looking back.
Truly. What the hell?
Jenna repeats herself. She's sitting in the back seat, still peering out of the rear window at the boggled expression plastered on her face.
I hear you. What a fucking mess.
At least now we know they were hiding stuff about Carl. I tried to shine at least some optimism in the situation, however faint it is. We came out here to get information, and we did learn that there was information to be had, so not a complete wash.
I don't believe for a titty fucking second that Carl dabbled in crank. Not saying they're responsible, but they do know something.
Honestly, I don't believe they have the wherewithal to plan and successfully carry out something so malicious as kidnapping.
Flynn lets out a long sigh, keeping the truck steady along the dirt road with one hand while the other rubs his scaled face.
That doesn't help us figure out what the fuck to do next. Where are the goddamn cops and this fucking city clerk? I'm the fucking city clerk. Why am I stuck doing this shit?
There's a silence in the cabin. Jenna turning back around to peer in Flynn's rearview mirror at him.
Because you're his friend and you care about him.
Flynn seethes at these words.
That's not helping, Jenna.
I pull out my phone, holding my thumb over the display button. Only 50% battery life. I'll have to remember to charge it later. Should I text Leo?
Text him what? That you want him to row you again?
Flynn lets out a little huff and Jenna gives the lizard a stern look.
What?
I mean about what they just told us.
There ain't no reason to. It's all pussy willow lies.
After a while he sighs, sounding defeated. Flynn reaches into his pocket, holding up a slightly antiquated looking phone.
I'll just post in the group chat a quick summary.
Okay.
I'll make sure to let them know how sketch they were being.
I nod, despite the fact no one is currently looking at me. I step outside in the cool air, letting my feet rest on the hard asphalt of the parking lot. I stand there, enjoying the openness of my surroundings. I can only be cooped up with two other people in one room for so long before it becomes increasingly apparent you're all just breathing each other's air. TG had tried to keep Leo company today while they went out looking for Carl, but TG was saying Leo was being really distant. They ended up getting a little recreational camping spot right before the lake, and Leo just said he had to go, left TG there without a ride. He said he didn't mind because he enjoys the walk, but Leo's behaviour had him worried. Jenna steps out beside me, fidgeting with some of her hair. Tough day, huh? She responds quietly. So, we're gonna search tomorrow? Have you...
I'd rather not talk about it right now. Carl and the search... no. I'd actually rather not talk about Carl and the search effort right now, if that's alright with you.
Jenna pauses, crossing her arms over her chest.
I know that sounds bad, but we truly are doing everything we can for him. Absolutely above and beyond. We've got a few more places on the outside of town that Flynn and I were going to look at, as well as some more phone numbers to call. Flynn's going to text us with all the details in the morning, so that's settled.
I let out that like exhale of relief. I honestly have no idea where else to look, so props to them if they're able to scrounge up a place or two. Well, what do you want to talk about then? Gina leans up against a nearby post, luminescent light giving her fur a slight halo effect. She's looking at me now, eyes tired and the very faintest of smile crossing her muzzle.
To be quite honest, not much talking is needed.
Her smile grows less faint, her tired demeanour shifting to something more akin to cosy warmth. It's infectious and I'm soon just smiling the same.
They're cute. Your company is fine enough.
Really? She nods. Well, same for you.
That's good then.
It's very good.
Great.
She lolls her eyes, standing there with a look just like she's waiting for something. Takes me a second to realise what for. Oh, so I'm just gonna step over here. I take one comically large side step towards where Jenna's standing, my tail swishing behind me in a low arc before slapping down on the pavement. Jenna lets out a little amused noise as she peers up at me, her own tail flicking in a contented sway.
Oh.
She cants her head, putting it in front of an innocent curiosity as I approach.
Whatever for?
Well, maybe she'd do something like this. I place my paws on the other side of her face. Her fur is so much softer than mine with no oily sensation to it at all. I rub my thumb across her cheek and then lean down to plant my muzzle against hers. Our lips meet. Her touch is gentle, a comfortable yet intimate pressure. Soon she opens her mouth and I find myself doing the same. With Leo it was always like some kind of tongue battle for dominance, which of course can be fun, but right now, this is nice. I can feel goosebumps in the back of my neck as her breath meets mine. It kinda smells like oatmeal. Had she been getting into my dinosaur egg oatmeal packets I brought? Oh, not this again. I hope not.
Chase. He fucking eats cereal. He's so fucking boring.
I only have a few of those. Jenna pulls back after a few seconds, her face radiant and glowing. She looks content despite everything going on. She hums to herself in thought. I take her smaller paws in mine, interlacing her fingers. Something on your mind?
Just never kissed a guy in a motel parking lot.
She looks up towards the sky.
At night.
Oh. That response wasn't exactly what I'd been expecting. Just everywhere else then? I tease, quickly puffing a big goofy smile to emphasise how much I'm joking and hoping to God she doesn't get offended.
Right. I'm just making sure I remember to add it to my list.
She says this with complete deadpan before pushing away from the post and turning to head back inside. But wait, I was just messing with you.
Oh, I know.
She walks past me, swinging her arms and smacking me squarely on the ass. The shock of it renders me completely off balance. It had been quite a long time since someone's done that to me. I feel my face flushed with heat and Jenna walks away. I can see her, proud of herself, smile stuck to her muzzle, leaving us with her back turned. And God, what a backside. I was so nervous when we did it before, I guess I really didn't have time to appreciate things. I wish I could sleep in your bed tonight. I speak without thinking and Jenna stops her paw on the door handle. The audible thunks of TJ fussing about inside punctuates the silence.
What's stopping you?
A genuine question, but she doesn't stick around for the answer. And then I'm alone. With a little sigh, I rest my side against the same post Jenna was, closing my eyes again and just letting the surroundings sink in. Again, it's unusually humid out, especially for spring, where we usually get less than an inch of rain a month. Monsoon season isn't set to start for another 90 days or so. I hold out my paws to the sky and let my tongue loll out, tasting the ozone in the air. It's the closest thing I can get to being in water right now, not counting the shower, of course. I mean actually being surrounded in something vast and wet, like a moist blanket that you can let carry you away. Speaking of moist blankets, TJ's been in the bathroom for like an hour and I really gotta piss. I step away from the high-pitched buzz of the fluorescent outdoor lighting, heading around the bend of the motel into the wash nearby. It takes me a second for the eyes to adjust to the darkness. The desert at night can look pretty strange, like an absence of the sun sucks all the colour out of the world. But it makes trying not to fall in a ditch all the more difficult when everything starts blending together. Once I find a good spot heading away from any motel windows, I turn my back and get to leak taking. I'm making a concerted effort this time to not piss on myself. If that happens twice in a row, Jenna's going to start thinking I have a fetish or something. Water sports. Why do they call it water sports anyway? If you're actually into water-based sports, you can't really talk about your hobby without perverts than thinking you like to piss. Although to be fair, there's much worse stuff out there to be into. I remember for the longest time floated this whole reputation of being into scat. I think it started after someone called him a shit pisser because he was gay, and of course he told them that he was and he loved doing it. Then it got all ambiguated in high school social mill until Flynn apparently spending his weekends diving into septic tanks. Flynn wasn't remotely pleased with that stigma when that stigma didn't go away, and of course I thought it was hilarious. Strangely enough, that never got applied to Leo and I, even with all our PDA, I guess. This crunching noise beside me, dry bramble being tread underfoot and the sudden scuffling of dirt. The noise stops as soon as it starts, and I glance over, realising I'm not alone.
What the fuck?
I blink. I must have finished pissing a minute ago, but here I am still holding my prick. Mika stares at the aforementioned before looking back up at me. I quickly shove myself back inside my shorts, nearly tripping over myself as I step back away from him. Damn it, where'd he come from? I was taking a leak.
The fuck you were, Schizo.
His voice is strange, distant. In fact, he looks completely out of it, as his comprehension of the world around him is delayed.
You were just standing there staring off into the great dark nothing, cock and paw. Jerking into the void. That's how you defeat it?
What are you talking about? Why are you even here? Mika points a half-little stare in my direction, his fingers wiggling around the edge of his tank top. He's not so much looking at me as right through me.
I'm a bat and it's night. I can be wherever I want. So you want to be here?
The voice echoes so clearly in my mind I can't help but say it out loud. So you want to be here?
There we go. Fuck no.
He sniffs, his answer spoken with a tired, slurred tone.
I mean, I'm here because there's dick all for me out there. Fuck, wait, you're talking about right here, right now, with you?
I look into his widened pupils and slowly nod.
Shit.
Mika rubs his face, pinching his own lightly fuzzed cheeks, his gaze still a million miles away. He's exhausting, or at least appears so for now. Like someone on the tail end of a ride in a fierce upper.
You can't put sleep off forever. Shit, I'm only half awake right now. And that's the worst way to be. It's like how when you're dreaming you're flying, but when you're having a nightmare you're falling. It's always falling.
Mika steps back, his heels hanging off the edge of the wash, and I'm sure he's about to tip over into it. Without thinking, I reach out for him, but he seems to lean away from my paw. What the hell am I doing? Don't touch the junkie. I should just get out of here back to the motel room.
Behold, I was shaped in iniquity.
He extends his tattooed arms and shows off his wingspan. Before I can say anything to respond, the bat's ramblings, he tips backwards like he was expecting someone to catch him. Oh shit. Are you okay? Silence. I start creeping closer to the edge to get a look at him, but a small voice rings out from within.
Fucking ow.
He goes quiet again as this plumes rises up from the ditch. Finally, another little grunt.
No, where the hell am I? Oh, son of a bitch.
As I peer over the edge, I can tell it's about a good 3 to 4 foot drop. Nothing too dire, but definitely not pleasant. Mika's dazed gaze meets mine and quickly narrows.
Ugh, fuck, of course. It wasn't just a dream.
I stare blankly at him, wheels turning in my head for a second. Wait, you were sleepwalking?
If that's what you want to call it. Did you just have your prick out?
I ignore the question. Your dream made you do a trust fall into the dirt? I thought you were tweaking out on drugs or something.
If only.
Mika slowly pushes himself to his feet and climbs out of the wash. His backside is completely caked in dirt and goat head bramble. He tries to pick out the stickers from his fur, wincing at each pluck.
I thought there was water in there for some reason.
He thumbs over his shoulder. There's probably not going to be any there for a few months.
Yeah, fuck, I'll be gone by then.
Mika shakes his legs a few times, some more dust scattering to the wind. Having white fur like that must suck in the desert here. If you even get the slightest bit dirty, everyone can see. For me, everything just kind of blends into the brown fur. He squints at the building nearby and lets out a astonished little noise.
I made it all the way to the motel? Doesn't make any goddamn sense. Fucking hellfire, man. Shit's just getting so much worse.
He shakes his head. He's clearly lucid now, but I don't know if he's really talking to me.
He doze off for 1 minute and then everything's an absolute shit show.
A cold creeps down along my spine. This is all sounding real familiar.
Pot helps. Keeps the bad vibes down. It's a quick fix for something you never know when it's coming.
I've been having something similar happen to me, I think. Really bad dreams, mainly. His gaze snaps to me as if he wasn't expecting me to actually respond to him.
Fucking really? No shit.
The bat extends an arm out to his surroundings, gesticulating everything and nothing all at once while his wings flap about.
You ain't the only one, Muskfuck. You ain't seen how it's been. It's real shit down on Jasmine Street. The hum gets bad there.
The hum? I frown, unnerved with the bat's words, but not really sure I should start questioning them.
You wouldn't know after all. You're just having a little fun trip and then fucking right off.
Mika says this like it's a bad thing. However, I'm not guilty about wanting to get the hell out of here at the soonest possible convenience. I'm find Carl, of course. So, you gonna leave town too? He glances over at me.
Yeah. You should go soon as well. But he'll be back.
But you'll be back.
They all come back.
We all come back.
What are you on about?
I'm honestly not quite sure myself. The words just sounded right at the time. I shrug. I guess it's just what it feels like to me.
Not everyone does.
His tone shifts more melancholy, the young bat reaching into his pocket and flipping on an old cell phone for a moment. He looks like one of those cheapo ones you buy the minutes and text messages per usage. Burners, I think they're called. After a moment I realise who he's referring to. I never really knew Keith. Sorry he went missing. He stops messing with his phone, yellow eyes flicking back up to me.
You didn't know him and you're not the reason he disappeared, so stop talking like you're personally involved.
I feel myself starting to get a bit frustrated. I don't know why I'm still here. In fact, I don't know why Mika's still here. He's just lingering about after he claimed to be this way due to sleepwalking or whatever. What was Keith doing before he went missing? It's the point where I seem to have Mika's full attention. He glances around for a moment before stepping forward, lowering his voice to a quiet rasp.
What he was always doing, schizo, trying to fix people. He'd see someone who'd be utter shit trash and then find their inner spirit or whatever. You know, native shit.
He thinks for a second.
Well, nativite, whatever Keith was, one of those weird kids who read philosophy books in school. He helped all of us, of course, and I thank him to bits for it. Screw-ass didn't know his limits. Started getting chummy with his supplier, this big bear bastard named Brian.
Supplier? Keith dealt drugs?
Bitch, everyone deals and gets dealt in Echo. This ain't a surprise or shouldn't be. So let me get you off your moral high horse right now.
He squints in though.
Yeah, now I think of it. Wasn't your mum the one who let Sven miserly plough her for Oxy?
What? I can't help but be taken aback by that one. No.
You're saying your mum didn't take Oxy?
No, she had back pain issues and took Persuit, but that's it.
That is Oxy, bitch. But enough about your whore mum.
Fuck you. He huffs. He's so full of shit, like just before the bonfire. I dip my paws into my pockets and turn to leave. I get a couple of steps forward in my tail before I hear the bat rasp from behind me.
Hey, don't be a bitch.
I keep walking. The shower is probably freed up by now and God knows I could use it. If not just for the water, but for the time alone.
No, wait, seriously, stop. Chase.
I hear a frustrated sigh.
Chase, please. I need to talk to you, serious-like.
I turn, and if his sight is any good, he can get a good view of how done with his shit I am from my expression alone.
Keith tried to help this supplier, turn his life around, all that.
I hesitate. I didn't expect him to start talking about Keith again.
He saw the goodness in him, etc., etc. Before all this, Keith would always take me out after school on Fridays. We go flying these RC planes we tinkered down by the river. I mean, it sounds about as fun as plucking pubes to most folk now, but Normie loved it. The moment we started getting close to Brian, that stopped. We saw him less and less until, poof. Keith's gone, but no one knows where he went, including Brian. So claimeth he. And I had nothing left here.
My anger with the bat begins to fade as he looks me straight in the eye. Something about the tone of voice is different. Like this is an actual matter he'd thought about for a long time. Mika, are you... I exhale, stepping forward and lowering my voice. Are you trying to tell me something?
Something about Carl? No, I'm trying to get you to whip out your dick again.
The runty bat's nostrils flare as he steps closer. I cover my crotch with my free paw as he rolls his eyes.
Do you want help finding the rich fat kid?
I hesitate as hostile phrasing, but begrudgingly nod. Any information at all could help at this point. Yes, I want help finding Carl. Do you know anything that can help us?
Cool, and hopefully.
Doesn't speak for a time, rolling his cell phone in his paws.
Don't report anything about, I'm about to tell you to the cops. I'm genuinely trying to help you here, but I need you to swear to that.
Sure, whatever, I swear I won't tell the cops. I lie.
Good. Nothing I did is really illegal, but it can be implicating as all hell if you don't find your friend.
Is this about the meth you guys said Carl was taking?
No, that was bullshit.
I knew it. Well, Flynn knew it.
Like hellfire, I was going to start ratting fuckers out in front of everyone. The Hendricks house was marked. Jeremy tipped Clint off to that Carl was staying at home alone. Clint then brings me to scope all the shit out just before midnight at 11. I can see well in the dark. I got a good look at their alarm system. That's when I noticed two big glowing eyes staring back at me. I don't know what happened, but there was a flash, and next thing I know, I'm falling from the second-story ledge and into the riprap.
The photo. That was Mika. The flash of Carl's cell phone camera. That has to be... He took a picture of you before you fell. He found that photo the next day. The bat's lips tighten.
Well, fuck me then. Guess it's good that I'm getting ahead of all this.
It barely even looked like you, I think. The picture was all distorted. I tried to wave off the concerns with a reassuring tone, reshifting the conversation back to Carl. What happened next? Mika sighs, speaking up again.
Next thing I hear is a whole shit ton of thudding.
Oh, 1 second. Let's do that shout out. Hello, Sundini, how's it doing? How is it going? I'll just do a quick shout out for the wonderful Sundini. If that works. Yes, it does. There we go. Yes, the cat is currently asleep on top of Meow.
Ooh.
Right, let's carry on. Fantastic. Fantastic to hear, my friend. And I'm very glad for you. It's good things are coming through. The best kind. Best kind. Well, as I said, congrats, my friend. I hope it continues to go well for you. I don't remember what.
Like, da-dunk, da-dunk. I couldn't move. I didn't want to start sprinting off while everyone that was inside was still looking out a window. So I huddled up in a blind spot, and the noise kept going for a solid 30 minutes.
I'm doing not bad, man. We are just playing some Echo. We did some Halloween recordings the last couple of days, so yesterday was crazy doing 2 Halloweens in a normal recording in the space of 24 hours. It was an interesting day. And an echo in the space of 24 hours. It was an interesting day. But yeah, we're doing not bad. Has all been ticking by as ever. course I'm crazy, you know this. Alright, let us continue on with Echo.
Sorry, I got mouth for a biscuit.
It's fine, take your time.
They're dry as well, it doesn't help. Then a fucking hell of a clatter. The sound of wooden boards snapping inside. Next thing I know, the fat ass is taking off into the desert, completely spooked.
Which direction?
South, I think. Anyway.
He holds up the basic looking cell phone.
I gave Clint a call, told him what happened. He started freaking the fuck out of me, cussing and swearing, spitting up a storm. Kept insisting he needed to call someone. And that's the last I heard of it. Spent the next 12 hours nursing a bruised tailbone in an abandoned trailer off Route 65.
Well, goddamn. Actual answers. This is all really helpful, Mika, but why are you telling me this? Why are you ratting out your friends to someone you hate? The bat groans aloud, a look of exasperation crossed his tired features.
Have you been listening at all? There are fuckers out there I don't trust, and if there's anything that can be done about putting a boot to their asses, I'm down. For Keith.
The bat taps at the phone a few times for handing it my way.
Give me your number. I'll keep you updated on what's going on. The supplier guy I mentioned will be coming into town. I'll see if I can get some more info out of him. And Clint about the RAM.
I take the phone, slowly using the tiny button-based numpad to put in my number. There's probably a few ways this can come back to bite me in the ass, but at this point I'm pretty damn desperate for a lead. I just never would have expected it would come from Mika of all people, and willingly at that. And here I thought you hated me.
I don't care enough about you to hate you, schizo.
I hand the bat back his phone, unsure of how to feel about that response. If I don't hear from you by the time we have to go Sunday...
You should get the fuck out of Echo.
His tone is flat, a matter-of-fact statement that he believes doesn't need any further explanation. I nod in response, wondering if it's too late to take my number back. Well, if that's all... I glance back at the motel. Mika looks too.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, one more thing.
Oh? I perk a brow in his direction.
He's still with that wolf boy, Leo?
I remember him getting skittish about him earlier. He's acting nonchalant, but there's definitely something more to the question than casual curiosity. The answer to the question itself is also a complicated one. Not really. Why do you ask?
I don't give a shit.
He looks down at his phone and says this. A lie. Then why do you ask?
He just... I hear he talks a lot of shit. I was wondering if he ever talks shit about me.
Mika folds his arms over his chest, staring at his phone screen. To be honest, I don't even recall a time he even mentioned you by name. It's the truth. Out of all the Jasmine Street kids, Mika was the one I never really heard Leo talk about.
Figures.
What?
What? I'm out of here. I'll text you in a bit.
The bat turns and heads off. Something about him that sticks with me. I can't quite put my finger on it. Once he disappears around the corner of the motel, I take my phone out and tab over for a group chat. Friday.
That looks like hoofprints heading towards the lake.
It does.
Bam! I got Master of Arms in World of Warcraft. Fucking finally. Holy shit, I am never gonna try and level pole arms again. Why was I even bothering? Ugh.
I am a great swimmer, spirit. A young woman's voice. It's distant but near, like a video with the volume nearly all the way down. I strain myself to listen more closely, but the spoken words start to come into focus.
That's doubtful. You're a yote after all.
A man's voice, also barely audible. I'm inside the cabin of a large vehicle. It's rickety and I have to hold on to something to keep from shaking all over the place. I can see two people in the front now, their silhouettes pronounced, but I can't make out their faces. It's like they're distorted, water droplets and fresh ink. But the one in the passenger seat is a woman, a coyote. She has lots of jewellery. Not that I can see it, but it jingles around when she moves. That kind of reminds me of my mom. The man on the left who's driving is an otter. He's wearing a hunting cap that's too small for his noggin. Whenever he turns his head, I catch a glimmer of him in the mirror, his face blurred. The only part of him that's distinguishable are his eyes, shining blue headlights in the dark. I think I'm seeing things from his point of view, even though he's not really me. The cabin behind the two front seats is roomy, like a van. In fact, it feels like there are more people behind me, but I can't look over my shoulder. I'm stuck, shaking around in between the front seat and somewhere in the back, near the rear cabin doors. Yeah, and you're a dirty species, Dave. Oh, Dove? Dove.
Dove. The times are changing and your best... Oh, sorry, I think that's you.
Times are changing, and the best get with them. Elsewise, I might need to find myself more sophisticated company, you hear? The woman responds. This is all so familiar for some reason. Deja vu.
Jan, you read dirty novels and eat fast food like a hag. Hog. I've heard of a set of witch doctors who are more worldly and sophisticated than you.
He grunts, laughing a little at his joke. Oh, please, darling, reading a little novella with the word penis in it ain't gonna damn me straight to hell. Second, I got my own income now. You know a job? You might hear of one someday. I could use the money I make from said job to buy whatever I want to make myself feel special. Sometimes it's a little romance book at the drugstore, and sometimes it's a large vanilla milkshake with extra cherries. Third and final, I don't think Miss Sita have witch doctors, they go shamans. I met one once, he was a very nice old man, about 4 foot tall, pocket-sized. The woman sounds rather pleased with herself for countering the man's comments. The man lets out a dismissive noise.
You met one, eh? What'd he do? Sell you a love potion?
Another chitter of laughter at his own joke. I don't know, hon, you tell me. You reckon it's working? My tone is flirty. I can practically feel them both smiling. I'm outside now, my head's spinning. I'm walking, but it's not my body that's moving, it's someone else. Their movements are slow and deliberate. A stab of pain when the body's left leg moves too high or the joints rotate at the knees. The fur on their arms is ice white and the muzzle is feline. Some sort of big albino cat trudging one foot after the other beside the highway, caught up in a strange daze. Sepia-tinted memories fill our head of places that look straight out of Southwestern Adventure's frontier quarter. These recollections of his existence and his physical reality in front of him are fading dream, something that causes pain to reverse. The world is not his home anymore, as much as it hurts him to think of that. One of his feet steps onto the pavement, then the other, crossing the lanes to walk directly down the little yellow line down the centre. The people he loved are all dead, but he doesn't want to join them. He just wants them back. As his own senses fail him, the memories in his head just keep getting more and more real. They're there in his mind. He can see them stitching in the stitching in their clothing, the smell of their fur, the chuckle in their voice, the touch of their paws, the taste of their lips. Is it just a sad way to be? I'm back in the van. The otter and coyote are trading glances with each other now. The more bro-esque personality of the otter seems to be tempered by the coyote, like he's trying not to take himself too seriously around her. The radio is playing something now, something that was there before but I couldn't quite make it out. It's not music, just voices. Drawn out, distorted and mostly unintelligible. I catch something that sounds like nervous laughter from a high-pitched voice.
I know, but my
Then
arms
a more baritone one responds with something reassuring.
I love you, kid.
It's okay.
At least that's what I think it says. Finally a squelching noise like a squishing soft putty between your paws. The feeling that something is buried behind me in the van grows. I've been hearing that before, I know I have. But when? No matter what I do, I can't turn around. Even the rearview mirror reflects a distorted image. I could just barely make out something back there, undulating in constant restless motion, strobing between pulsating flashes of faint red light. There's applause, like someone clapping. handles of the rear cabin doors seem to shudder and click like someone is trying to open them from the outside. But that's impossible. We're moving. It feels like I'm yanked back to the road again, with the old man walking down the centre line. The memories in his head grow more perspicuous as he walks. It's as if it's building towards some great zenith or a point of total clarity. I'm not sure how I know this. There's a rumbling of an engine coming up behind, puttering in rhythmic fashion. Again, I can't turn to face it, but I know it's there. And it's getting closer now. The engine roars. It's coming right up behind me.
This is nuts. Fuck. What the fuck am I doing?
It's the high-pitched voice from the radio. I can hear it now, clearer than ever before. You're doing great, Chula. Baritone voice. It was Leo? The albino man stops, turning as if he heard this too. Heavy breaths escape my throat and I splay forth, fogging up the windshield. The two lovers exchange a kiss, eyes lulled. There are lovers in the back as well, fumbling with themselves in that same red light. That same red light that bathes the entire sky. The cabin doors fling open and I can finally see the person who's been trying to get in from the outside. A runty-looking amber-eyed otter stands there wearing an oversized blue t-shirt and khaki shorts. It's me. I'm younger and I don't have the goatee. Somehow I'm just floating behind this moving vehicle as if I were standing still. The colour in younger me's eyes starts to fade before shifting to an icier blue. He shrinks and soon the figure standing there is a little boy in his swimming trunks. Him. What does he want? Another shift as he springs about with distorted, jolty movements. The transition is nowhere near as smooth as first. The otter in his hunting cap far too tight for his head. Those same blue eyes piercing right through me. Bronson. Mr. Bronson. Sydney's father. Is Mr. Bronson also the one driving the van we're in? I see no reaction from the blurry figure in the driver's seat. Still more occupied than the coyote next to him. With the coyote next to him. He's the only one there for a second before his face practically tears away in jagged artifacting. Yes, jagged artifacting. Mr. Bronson twists in on himself, expression and caring as he falls apart and fades into ragged white fur. The elder albino on the road, it's him. At least I think it is. His silhouette is more abstracted, the detail of his features somewhat darker. His form floats there for some time. I keep waiting for it to shift, but it doesn't. Instead it turns its head to look directly at me with stark red eyes. They widen, still peering as I try to step back, but I can't move. Like fluorescent bulbs that begin to illuminate, blinding me as they grow closer and closer. I hold up my paw just as the old man's mouth opens, about to speak.
What?
Thunk.
Janice, you okay? Bronson, what did you hear? Bronson, don't just sit there. You answer me right now. I don't know. Jesus, sweet Mary Christ.
Mr. Bronson is despondent while Janice is starting to get frantic. Everything's dark, but I can see a slight red splatter at the centre of the windshield. A large chunk of fur is caught on the wiper. Mr. Bronson steps to the vehicle, his blurry form flickering into something a little more focused. His clothes are loose hanging, jeans, bell bottoms, very 60s. I can see the whiskers on his face like they were my own. My heart is practically beating out of my chest, beating out of his chest, his fur damp with cold sweat. The fear is electric, buzzing hum which permeates the landscape. Are they hearing it too? I decide to move with him, seeing from this point of view. Mr. Bronson covers his face, paws trembling. He can't see anything in this darkness. The otter nearly leaps out of his fur, startled by the voice. It's a weak, desperate cry, a gurgling of pain followed by it immediate after. Mr. Bronson runs to the source of the pathetic sound. Janice getting out of the van as well. She clutches her bag to the side, her high heels clacking against the asphalt.
Bronson, oh my god.
I see it. I see him. The albino feline is struck wedged beneath the fender skirt and the wheel itself, a space about a foot wide. He's practically folded into it, legs snapped upward and jutting out the side. Wild red eyes dart from Mr. Bronson to Janice and back again. I can't tell if he's pleading for help or asking why. All I know is he's in excruciating pain beyond the capacity for tears, just instant shock. Images flash before their eyes and now he's not looking at anyone at all. He's devoid of movement beyond the rapid heaving of his chest.
Jesus!
She screams.
His shoulder's caught under the tire. And he's bleeding. Oh God, Bronson, we gotta do something. I know we gotta do something.
He shouts back at her, eyes only popping out of his head.
Jack.
Janice gasps as the old man begins to speak again. A look of realization crosses her no longer blurry face and she points towards the back of the van.
Get the Jack.
Mr. Bronson blinks and quickly rushes to the back to get his toolkit, flinging the doors open. In place of obscure lovers, there are a mound of tarantulas burrowing into each other as they try to hide from the newly opened doors. Some are blondes, while others are more standard rust and black colour. He doesn't seem to notice or care about these creatures, which flee in his presence, instead diving for the little olive toolbox. I tried to step away, but I'm stuck, seeing through his eyes now. He flings his tools around, however. Hammer, wrenches, and rebar clattering to the side. No Jack. Mr. Bronson stares motionless until Janice's shrieking voice breaks the silence.
What's taking you so long? Get him out of there, Bronson.
The doctor exhales shakily, makes his way back to Janice, giving her a blank look.
Help me lift. What? I said help me lift. Are you kidding me? You don't have a Jack. Shut up and help.
Mr. Bronson slips his paws under the side of the van next to the wheel, squeezing his palms against the chrome. Janice quickly does the same thing on the other side of the wheel.
On 3, lift. Mr. Old Man, we're gonna get you out of there in no time. You just gotta slide free once this goes up, alright?
She tries to put on a reassuring voice, but the albino just stares past her with intense red eyes.
1. Bronson, I don't know if I can do this. 2.
She shakes, tears begin to well out within her eyes.
Oh God. 3.
The van creaks as it begins to rise up off the ground, at least on this corner. Janice screams as her own exertions, muscles spasming as her arms shake.
I can't!
The old man begins sliding his broken legs down the side of the wheel, and one of his free paws grabbing the side of the fender skirt. Low moans escape from inside his chest, whimpers of unimaginable pain and shock as his crushed bones realign themselves inside him. He makes it most of the way out by the time Janice's arms give out, the van instantly lowering back down a couple inches.
I'm sorry. Fuck.
Mr. Bronson spreads his legs wide, his muscles quivering as he tries to hold the whole van up by himself.
Go, get out of there!
He screams down at the albino, his blue eyes meeting the albino's as the old feline begins to nudge himself out from under the wheel.
No!
The otter howls as the van continues to lower despite his best efforts. The old man feels it touch the sides of his muzzle. His breathing quickens, his arm reaching for anything to help him. But then some gentle pressure. His eyes are bleary and moist now like a lost child's. Then more pressure. And then... Janice screams. She screams and screams until her vocal cords fray into old yarn. Time passes. The body of the old man is dragged into a large open hole at the side of the road. Mr. Bronson's paws are bloodied, nails chipped from digging without a shovel. Janice refuses to help, and she's been sitting in the van quietly for the past half hour, crying to herself. She can't stop shaking. He buries the body in a small ditch, trying not to look at the half-crushed face. It seems to stare at him, asking for help from beyond the grave. He could have helped, but he wasn't strong enough. Maybe this is what he wanted after all, to die? Why else would he have been walking straight towards him in the middle of the road? He had plenty of time to move out of the way, but he didn't. It was like he didn't realise the shock of what he'd done until he was tangled in the wheel skirt of the van, his bones jutting out from his skin and blood dripping from his overalls. Once he's completely covered, Mr. Bronson peers back at the van, the splatter of the impact still visible. He placed a small stone to mark the grave of the unknown man before heading back and getting into the driver's seat. Jenna says nothing to him, and for that he's thankful. Bronson drives off the road into a small valley a short ways away. He parks in between some bushes and collects things, trying to ignore the new throbbing pain in his head. Together they silently exit the van and begin to slow walk back to Echo. A lone figure watches them from atop a hill, an impossibly tall silhouette, with lanky arms that hang past his knees.
We're together now. So, do you remember in Flynn's route when Sydney's dad finds a van in the woods?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, that's why he did what he did.
It's all come full circle.
Everything goes circle. The murder is committed, the murderer lives with the guilt, goes unpunished, and the cycle of the town continues.
Mm-hmm.
It's what happened with Sydney, it's what happened with Chase, it's what's happened with Janice and Sydney's dad, and... Oh, good lord. Nothing about this is okay.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling?
It was something I'd completely forgotten about. So yeah, it's one of those things that it's very intriguing that there's still probably like countless bits in other stories that I never thought were still tied into each other, and now they're explaining them.
Yeah, like just small things here and there. You slowly kind of realize, like, wow, everything really does come full circle.
It also explains why the van had the effect it did have.
Yeah.
Which
And
was one of
what
those things
put
that I
it
never
there in the
realised
first place?
I never realised that was an unanswered question till now.
Like, it's a small scene, it's like a nightmare sequence, you know? Like, you find out from Sydney's perspective, then you find out from Flynn's perspective, and then you go back and find it out from Mr. Bronson's perspective, and you're like, oh, fucking hell! Nothing about this is okay. Why does this town suck so hard, you know?
Yeah. Oh, well,
Because, my god, this town sucks.
this town does suck. Alright, I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break because I'm going to go and grab some more juice and quickly go pee. So I'll be back in 2 minutes and we'll carry on.
Sweet, I'm gonna try and get my unarmed skill up to 400 and 2 points off. I might as well.
Alright, back in 2 minutes, folks.
Cool.
Alrighty, folks, are back. Let us continue on with some more echo. My eyes flutter open and I'm greeted by sunlight pouring through the thin curtains. At first I'm a little confused until I realised I'm not in the same bed I've been in for the rest of the trip. It takes me a minute to get control of my limbs again, and when I turn my head to the side I see Jenna sound asleep beside me. The way of the sunrise is shining through her blonde fur is just perfect. It's in such contrast to the dream from the night before, the details of which are already starting to fade, but some of the imagery remains. The van, the albino getting hit, the tarantulas in the back, the tall figure that was watching on the hill. It hurts to think about. I reach out a paw and gingerly stroke Jenna's shoulder. Seeing as TJ is out of the room, I scoop myself up behind her, in optimal spooning position. Fortunately, thanks to the dream, I'm awoken without morning wood for a change. The moment I touch her, though, she rolls around, nuzzling her muzzle in the nape of my neck. Her whiskers tickle at my chin, and I have to make a concerted effort not to start giggling. She must not have been as asleep as I thought, because she makes a concerted noise around my paw down her hip. She takes hold of my paw in hers and leans forward to kiss me. Not open mouth or anything gross and warning breathy like that, but enough to make my heart flutter. Her eyes open a crack and she smiles to see me looking back at her.
Hey.
Hey. I peck at her nose and can already hear her tail thwap beneath the covers happily. You look beautiful.
Truly?
She inquires back, stretching her arms above her and yawning. Yeah. She squints at me for a moment.
You have sleep crusties in your eyes.
I blink. Oh well, I just woke up, that's probably why. I rub my eyes quickly. She lets out a little laugh.
You sleep okay?
I debate just saying yeah and leaving it at that, but last night's dream felt so peculiarly bizarre I felt wrong not to mention. I shrug. More weird dreams. I had one where I simultaneously got hit by and ran over someone with a van. Like the perspective switched back and forth.
Oh, that's weird. At least it's not the reoccurring shadow you dream.
Oh yeah, definitely. Seeing myself in the mirror is tough enough. I don't need that when I sleep.
Chase, please. You're not that ugly.
I frown. You have a wonderful way of making your reassurances simultaneously slight put-downs.
Do I?
Yeah. I'm being negged.
Oh, shut up. I hate when guys do that. I'm just teasing you, Chase. Trying to rate someone's physical appearance has always been hard for me. Especially when they're covered in eye gunk.
Oh come on. I'm gonna wipe it on you. Her face crinkles into a look of repulsion.
Oh, gross.
I pull her body close to mine, our chests pressed together. This softens her scowl a bit.
You know, I keep dreaming about my grandmother.
Really?
Yeah, it's strange. Especially the one from last night.
She pauses. I wait, looking at her expectantly.
I was younger and in my bedroom back at my parents' place. Well, it didn't look like my bedroom, and everything was kind of hazy. I could hear the old hot water heater in the corner. I was being read a story from one of those children's books with the golden spines. You know the ones, right?
I nod. Oh yeah, well, I hadn't thought about those in ages. My parents used to read them to me all the time when I was little. Couldn't fall asleep without them.
Oh? I can't recall ever being read a story outside of school, so that's why it was a bit unusual.
Who was reading you the story then?
Hold on, I'll get to that in a sec. The story was fairly basic medieval fairy tale, with the king having been eaten by a dragon and a brave warrior venturing out to slay the beast. Despite being a story I was being told, it was kind of like I was watching it all happen, for real, like a TV. The warrior travels a great distance to confront the dragon, but when they finally find him, they falter.
You've kind of gone wobbly.
Oh, weird mic problems?
Yep, there you go, you're back now.
Ah, wonderful. I just need to talk louder.
It was weird, you just kind of went a bit of like... I don't know, it just sounded like you were underwater for a second.
Huh. That is very odd.
It's gone back
But
to normal
spooky.
now. It's just very weird. Yeah.
It fits the game, though.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to reread?
Okay. Inside the dragon's lair, the warrior finds a baby dragon, who the big one was trying to protect. The king had wanted the dragons dead, stating they were monstrous, uncaring devils. But at seeing the big dragon protect his young, the warrior knows this isn't the whole truth and spares the dragon.
Noble guy.
It wasn't a guy. In fact, I believe it was my grandmother?
The one you told me about?
Yeah.
How'd you know that? Jenna's brow furrows slightly as she thinks.
I'm not sure exactly. At the time, it felt implicit, obvious. Like, who else could it be?
So, warrior grandma doesn't kill the dragon, and then what happens? Gaze shifts as if searching for something fleeting.
I don't think anything happened. It just sort of hard cut back to my bedroom. I could see the sun just starting to rise through the window, and the sky was all orangey and red. You know, like how it gets during a drought when there's lots of dust in the air? Despite all this, the room looked even darker. I couldn't see who was reading the story to me, just that they had big red eyes. And then I woke up.
That last part sounded familiar for some reason, but I'm having a difficult time remembering why. Wow. Jenna looks slightly embarrassed with herself, fussing with her head fur as she sits up some.
It's the guy that Mr. Bronson and Janice ran over. I think his name's Sam. From what I remember anyway.
Yeah.
I think that we found that out in Leo's route.
Ah.
Yeah, remember when we had the sequence with Brian in the mine?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And we had a talk with him, his name was Sam. Yeah.
Ah.
Discussing dreams can be a great way to help discern internal stresses in one's life.
Her tone is slightly defensive, the Finnick using her words way too fancy for this early in the morning.
The problem is, dreams are often deeply personal abstractions that...
She stops, referring to herself some, then glances at the clock on the nightstand.
It's probably going to be our turn on search duty here in a bit. That information we got from Mika is really helpful, if true. He's hoping he pulls through with his investigating.
Yeah, to be honest, it's kind of a lot happier in thinking Carl just went on a bender and got lost somewhere.
He might still have, judging by how you said Mika described him acting. At least now we know the general direction to look.
Right. I look at the neatly made bed on TJ's side of the room. He had initially given us a strange look when I mentioned I was going to bunk with Jenna tonight. I can't tell if that's because he was curious about our relationship or offended that I wasn't sleeping with him. I clarified that he didn't snore just in case. Jenna's phone vibrates beside us and she lets out a little sigh, clearly comfortable and not wanting to move. If I had longer arms, I'd grab it for you.
Oh, such a gentleman. Don't worry, you're plenty long, Chase.
She winks at me before rolling over and grabbing her phone. I stare ahead with the biggest goddamn grin on my face. Definitely one of the better ego boosts I've received in recent years. Right up there was when the hipster barista girl at the downtown coffee shop told me I had foreign rock star vibes. However that means. She taps away her phone for a moment before looking over at me.
Gonna meet up with Tio down the diner for breakfast. Some eggs and bacon sound exactly amazing to me right now.
I'm usually not the sort of person who gets hungry as soon as they wake up, but that does sound pretty good. Yeah, with some jam and toast too.
Now you're talking.
She gives my rump a little pat, and my heavy tail thumps against the mattress. I know you just took one last night, but I should probably take a shower first. Gotta, get all the high goop off me that's been so offensive to you.
Oh.
She cants her head in my direction, setting her phone back down.
Thank you for being so considerate to those around you, Chase. We appreciate it, truly.
I grunt idly and slide myself off to the side of the bed.
I'll meet you down the diner. Gonna walk down there this time. The reception's been kind of weird this morning, but I'll text TJ your order.
Thank you. I give her a little thumbs up and she smiles, leaning over the edge of the bed, begin rifling through her suitcase. When I step out about 20 minutes later, I notice that my phone is flashing with new notification light. I click it on and notice one new message. It's Mika.
It's Mika.
Oh, you did it, okay.
Yeah. It's Mika. Your boyfriend is fucking shit up. Hitting Clint. Get down here to Jasmine Street now.
Oh shit. God damn it, Leo. I sent out a big group text last night updating the group on what happened with Mika. Everyone got back to me except Leo, who never responded. It showed me that he'd read the message though, so I didn't question it at the time. Quickly grab my keys and head out. I make sure to park at least a quarter mile down the street past the intersection onto Jasmine. From there I make my way on foot, huffing my way down the gravel road. As I fast walk I notice there's still little puddles everywhere, but there's no rain last night. At least, if there was, I was sleeping too deeply to notice. I can still practically smell the smoke of the bonfire from yesterday as I draw closer. I imagine they probably let it burn down to ashes last night, the group not seeming the real fire safety types.
Okay, I ate biscuits again. This keeps happening.
It's fine, I'll do this one. Fuck you! A voice cracks through the silence, past a burnt out trailer down the alley. It's a shrill and raspy. A violent clash that sounds like garbage cans getting knocked over soon follows. It's unmistakably Clint. There's another voice that follows, this one lower. It's quiet and threatening, but I can't quite make out what he's saying. Something about making Clint's life hell. There's an accent in the way the R's are being rolled and I quickly realise it's Leo. His English always gets worse when he's emotional. I creep up beside the shed full of what looks like copper tubing, wondering if it's too late to turn back. Peering around the corner I can see that Clint's knocked in his ass a can of half-eaten beans spill over his crotch. It's almost completely covered in trash. Jeremy's also next to him, holding his arm and looking like he's about to start bawling. No sign of Mika or Heather though. Where is he, You gonna tell me?
Eat shit, faggot. I don't know where your fucking friend is.
That's bullshit. Leo snaps back. Clint flinches some as he slides himself further behind the trash can he knocked over earlier. A hypodermic needle is dangling from his thigh, probably poking through his jeans. He doesn't seem to notice, his eyes flicking around wildly, searching for something.
You won't be so loud soon.
Leo growls, tail raised and bristling. It's strange to see him flash his teeth like this. Leo's getting truly angry was always a rarity growing up, the both usually being the one to try and pacify everyone else. Whatever his reasons, he's not going to have any of Clint's shit today. He snatches the ringtail by the scruff of his neck, Clint thrashing for a second before Leo tightens his grip. Jeremy looks up at the two of them, his eyes like saucers. I know you all tried to rob Carl's place, but it didn't work, huh? Carl got spooked and ran off, and you said you were going to handle him. Well, how'd you handle him? Something like how I'm going to handle you if you don't tell me. God damn it, Leo. Out goes Mika's cover. So much for trying to do this in a subtle way. I feel like I should step out from my hiding spot and say something to intervene, to do fucking anything to stop it before it escalates. I just stand there, saying and doing nothing. Clint writhes just enough to clutch at Leo's wrist, then long unkept fingernails digging into the white fur.
I didn't see him, I swear. I ain't seen him not since last week. And we ain't done none of that robbing shit from this place. That's fucking cursed.
His bulging eyes shift to Jeremy as if waiting for confirmation from the chubby fennec. He's met with only silence. Leo's nostrils flare, shaking his head. You know what happened. Fuck, I know you. God damn it, don't lie to me.
You don't know shit. Sounds like someone's been lying to you, and I think I know who.
This is very clearly not what Leo wants to hear. Jowls pulling back and exposing more of his teeth in a silent snarl. I need to find him. I need to fix this, and you two sacks of shit are gonna help me. The wolf throws Clinton back down atop Jeremy, and the two colliding with an audible thud. Jeremy yelps, clutching his arm again. Leo must have really hurt it earlier. Psst.
Psst.
There's a sharp whisper from the broken down RV to my left. With the dusty broken windows I can see familiar outline and a pair of ridiculously large ears. Mika. I crouch down, clutching my tail on my paws so it doesn't flap around behind me. Quietly I make my way to the door and step inside, careful not to step on any broken glass on my way in. The smell inside is awful, and despite the arid climate, it's surprisingly damp and mouldy in here. Mika is hunkered down behind an overturned cabinet, glancing briefly at me before turning his gaze to the scene unfolding outside.
I'm fucked.
He mutters.
And so is your friend. All thanks to him of all people.
Mika points to the wolf outside. His focused attention is shifted to Jeremy now. I didn't know he'd react like this. I whisper back.
Yeah, I thought you were just gonna call the cops on me. Didn't expect this from the Goody Two-Shoes Echo Gang.
Miko frowns deeply. I notice a heavy pipe wrench clutched in his small paws. Whoa, are you gonna try hitting him with that? Miko swallows.
He was asking me by name earlier. Jeremy said he hadn't seen me, then Leah punched him in the arm so hard he hit the dirt. This is just in case.
You better not have fucking hurt him, you fat fuck. Another cry of pain. I think Leo hit him again, but it's hard to tell from my spot at the window. The bat's gaze shifts back over to me.
What the fuck are you still doing here? Go out there and stop him, you dumb shit.
Mika whispers harshly, his raspy voice intense. Uh-oh. Right, but...
But what?
I sigh, rubbing my palm over my face. We need to find Carl. This isn't any way to go about doing it. Nothing, I'll do it.
Good. You're a schizo, but I never really took you as a sort to be down with torture and shit.
Part of me's kind of happy to see Clint get his ass kicked, though.
Oh yeah? Fucker deserves to deck the jaw every now and then, but I've counted 3.
A flicker of nervous smile crosses the bat's face. Yeah, not cool.
Thanks.
He says that last bit so quietly I almost miss it. The bat's already back to smushing his nose against the dusty window trying to get a good look at what's happening. His brow furrows.
Wait, where'd he go?
His ear perks and his yellow eyes widen.
Oh, piss.
It takes me a second, but I hear it too. Footsteps, and they're getting closer. Mika scrambles to the back of the RV, opening the half-busted bathroom door and jamming himself inside.
Don't let him see me.
What? Oh shit. It's just Leo, calm down. Take a deep breath and make my way to the door of the RV, pushing it open. It proceeds to promptly fall right off its rusted hinges, landing in the dirt below. Leo stands about 5 feet away, his look of anger shifting to surprise. Chase? Fuck, what are you doing here? I'm not sure what to say. Behind Leo, I can see Clint and Jerry slumped against the sides of the mobile homes. I decide to turn the question back at him, swallowing back the lump that crawled its way up my throat. Me? Leo, what the hell are you doing here? We had a plan. Yeah, well, so do I. I'm gonna fix this, you don't have to worry about a thing, alright? Leo, we're in this together. We're not kids anymore. Look, I know you've been away for a while, yeah? But these guys, he points back to Jeremy and Clint, they just hurt people, always have. That's all they do, just a bunch of gay bashing speed freaks. And now they've crossed the line. Leo steps up, placing his large angry paws on my shoulder. I flinch. He notices, then a hurt expression crosses his muzzle as he draws back. I'm gonna fix this, Chase, trust me, please. Leo, I don't know, this is kind of fucked. You're just gonna get yourself in more trouble. I don't want that. Look, if it's just like we talked about last night, everything's gonna be okay. Wait, what? Leo, you and I didn't talk last night. I haven't seen or spoke to you since Wednesday. Leo just stares at me, visibly confused. He looks down at his feet, then back up again. No? I was watching Carl's place and you came over. I told you about this, about the need for action here, and you agreed with me. I blink up at him. After the conversation with Mika, I went straight to bed. I definitely didn't go back all the way to Carl's. It was probably a dream or something? Don't think so. He sucks his tongue for a second before speaking again. Have you seen Mika? Go ask him a few questions. No. I lie. Ugh. I'll track him down, canine powers and what have you. He gesticulates with a swirl of his paw before letting it fall limply back at his side. Hopefully Mika took a shower recently. Might do that thing where we ask him a few questions one at a time and make sure their answers line up. I read about something like that in a spy novel once. And if they don't? Leo looks at me as if he wasn't expecting me to ask that question. Well, let's hope they do, eh? For their own good. He nods sagely, seemingly trying to ignore the fact that I'm staring at him like he's missing a few bolts. When I don't say anything, he just sighs, turning his head back in the direction of Clint and Jeremy. Alright, you should be it. You should head back to the motel and text the rest of the gang. I'll keep you updated. And if you see the... Leo rounds the side of one of the nearby sheds, something large, brown and hairy, juts forth and strikes him in the waist. He recoils, staggering to his knee with a gasp. Just as he looks to see what's hit him, a second blow strikes him square in the muzzle. I see his whole head rattle, his face contorted in pain as he falls flat on his ass, trying to scoot away from the source of the assault. Oh fuck. Leo. I run up to help him just as a huge bear emerges from around the shed. Leo's a big guy.
Fuck.
It's Brian! But this man's nearly a foot taller than even him. Scab's coat is matted fur and a rank smell of stale beer and musk wafts from him like cheap perfume. There's something horrible about him, and it's not his acrid odour or lesion-dotted visage. His eyes are empty. Empty not in a physical way, but there's something about his appearance that I can't quite put into words. Combination of factors that make him look like he's just walked straight out of a nightmare.
Brian, you're here.
Shut up, man.
Brian? God, this is fucking Brian? No wonder Mika wanted to try the subtle approach. What the hell? Brian chuckles down at Leo, and the first thing I'm struck by is how high-pitched his voice is. It's like the strange combination of Valley Girl lisp mixed with a hit of helium.
What you doing, boy? What you
He kicks at Leo's leg, the wolf grunting in pain.
doing?
He smiles, pleased with himself and his little ambush.
You know, this is my turf, right? You heard my boys wasn't a kind thing.
Where's Carl? Leo shouts, covered in dirt, as he scoots back along the ground. Brian continues to approach him with that same smile. Several of his teeth are missing, or half-rotted, just corn kernel-like husks. He seems to ignore Leo's question, grabbing at the wolf's patent leg while Liam fruitlessly kicks at him. I gotta do something. Brian hasn't seen me yet. For some reason, the first thing that flashes through my mind is, what would Jenna do? The next thing I know, I'm walking towards both of them. I see Jeremy in the distance, his eyes growing wide. He mouths one word. Don't. Hey. Stop it right now. The bear stops what he's doing, looking at me with a indiscernible expression. Oh god, he's huge. Your behaviour is getting really inappropriate.
Well, fuck me, it's you. Duke was right, you've been skulking around here these past weeks, haven't you?
Leo growls, taking advantage of the distracted Brian, by kicking square in the nads as hard as he can. At least, that's what it looked like he was aiming for. Instead, I hit his thigh and the bear stumbles back with a pained squeal. It's enough to get Leo some time to get back to his feet. I grab my keys from my pocket. My car's still parked a hell of a long way away. I have no idea where Leo parked his van or if he even drove here in the first place. Come on, Leo, let's go. No! He balls his paw into fists. He knows where Carl is. This is our only goddamn chance, Chase. Get out of here, get safe. I blanch as he begins rushing the bear, dropping his shoulder for a football tackle. There's no way in hell Leo can take this guy. Leo, goddammit. The impact is hard, two heavy bodies colliding with an audible smack. The two topple down the wooden pallet covered in loose metal pipes. Brian squeals again, thrashing like a spider that's been spritzed with bug spray. The bear scratches at Leo, but Leo hits him hard in the face. Again and again, publishing the previously grinning mug into a twisted visage of agony. Brian's squeals turn to outright screams like he's completely gone feral. Jesus, Leo. I said go! Brian jerks forward, sinking his yellow teeth into Leo's shoulder. The wolf's eyes go wide from shock of pain. It's stunning him as standing still as he's held within the bear's jaws. He tries grabbing at the gnarled muzzle, but the bear only clamps down harder. I can see his nostrils dilating as acrid breath puffs out quick enraged bursts. No! I've never won a fight in my goddamn life, but again I have to do something. I run up and aim to kick Brian square in the head, ending to get him off Leo. It's a glancing blow, but it's enough. I see his jaw unclench, just as my foot catches and I trip over both of them, spraying chest first into the dirt. Oh, for fuck's sake, Chase. Oof. Leo's gonna owe me so many beers after this. I cough out sputters of dust and dry grass rolling over onto my back. I see a flash of fur as a couple of thuds. Then those eyes again, those empty ones. Brian's leering over me now, face puckered like he's just sucked on something sour. Leo's rolled over on his side, retching as he clutches his gut. He must have gotten socked in the stomach and hard. The bear says nothing as he places his two large paws around my neck. His expression doesn't so much change as cracks into an increasingly wide smile. Then a knee on my chest. I can't move. I can't breathe. My heart begins to race, feeling my own pulse begin to throb. I feel his thumbs dig down into where my jugular is. I gasp for breath, blood vessels beginning to pop. My eyes feel like they're about to squeeze out of my head. He knows what he's doing.
So do you.
Get away from him! Thud. Leo slams his whole body weight into the bear again. It takes all his force to budge him, but once he's down, he's stunned for a while. I gasp for breath, clutching at my neck and scurrying back behind Leo. Brian's on his paws and knees now, panting with sick, wheezy breaths. Leo scrambles up to his feet and kicks the bear in the ribs. He barely budges, but Leo keeps at it, strike after strike. He's swearing under his breath, a string of words in his native foreign tongue, followed forth between gritted teeth. He's still having trouble catching my breath, my whole head throbbing and lights popping in front of my eyes. Brian yanks the cuff off Leo's jeans and pulls the wolf down with him. He crawls on top, taking Leo's head in one meaty paw, banging it back against the ground. I can see him squeezing down the wolf, deliberately flailing to get him off. He reaches for some pipes in the nearby pallet, but Brian catches them before he can get a hold on it. The bear pins both of his wrists above him, grinning in a sort of hazy rage. I run up trying to push him off, but it's like trying to move a boulder. A single elbow strike strikes me and I go flying back. I feel like I got hit by a goddamn car. I hear Leo screams in pain, followed by a short gurgling noise. I've never heard Leo sound like this in my life. It's horrible. Get off! Another cry. I gotta do something.
Maybe I will.
As I push myself to my elbows, my head starts to spin, the throbbing in my skull intensifies. I can finally see what's happening. Brian's still got Leo pinned to the ground. He has his knee up in his chest and is pressing down with all his weight. The wolf heaves, trying to free his hands, but to no avail. The more primal look crosses his eyes, his toes curling down into the dirt and his paws balling into fists. Brian leans down for just a moment to grin at him when Leo snaps. His white fangs sink down the brown muzzle of the bear. He's biting hard. I can practically see the cartilage tearing. It catches them off guard, and after Leo gets his paws free again, he promptly uses to pummel the bear's noggin. With each punch, the short, knuckle-heavy blow, not letting Brian get the opportunity to recover. The upper hand lasts only a couple of seconds, however, and the bear swings his fist blindly, connects with right with Leo's temple. Another strike catches the edge of his shirt, and Brian tears it away like it's paper. His eyes shut, and he crumples back into a manner that I'm sure means he's unconscious, but he keeps moving, pushing himself from under Brian and trying to crawl away.
Come back here, boy.
The shout is loud, and Leo begins to crawl faster. Just as he pushes himself to his feet, Brian tackles him back on all fours again, hitting him in the back of the head. Once he's stopped moving, Brian pushes his face into the dirt. He rests his chest against Leo's back, breathing heavily down his neck. Fuck off! Leo's eyes begin to dart around rapidly. He realizes what's happening. The emasculating position is very intentional. Two paws come down and wrap around the back of Leo's neck, huge fingers pressing down his airways. Stop! I call out, my voice hoarse. I push myself back up for what feels like the 100th time. If I can get to the pipes and the pallet, maybe I can stop this. I take one step and nearly collapse. What the hell happened to me? I close my eyes for a moment, trying to catch my breath. That's when I hear the sound of pattering little feet scampering across the topsoil.
Take this, bitch.
Bam. The heavy metal of the wrench strikes Brian in the muzzle right as he turns round. The spray of blood splatters both Brian and the bat. The bear hobbling back for roaring in agony, two teeth falling from the front of his maw. His whole body quakes with rage. Mika!
What are you doing?
Mika's chest rises and falls in rapid succession. It's his fight or flight response is kicking in.
Oh fuck, oh fuck.
As Brian turns to face him eyes wide, it looks like the latter has taken hold. The bat fucking bolts, sprinting as fast as he can towards the exit of the trailer park into the desert scrub beyond. Astonishingly, Brian is right behind him. He's way too fast for someone his size and screams like a banshee as he runs. There's a moment where Mika stumbles and I'm sure the bear is going to catch him, but he just dodges out of the way and keeps going. They run and run until they can't see them anymore, as an eerie silence falls upon the trailer park. I head over to Leo, taking him by the shoulder. The fur around his jowls is matted with dry blood and his tail hangs from his legs completely still. Leo, are you okay? Fuck. That's all he can say as he clutches his head. I agree with that sentiment. So close. Not really, man. I'm about to say something else when I feel the wolf's large arms embrace me. Sorry. A sensitive moment catches me off guard, and the brutality, which is just on display. Instead of embracing him in return, I'm left feeling uneasy. Sorry? Why are you saying sorry? He doesn't immediately respond, seeming to ignore the question. You okay? Oh, just dizzy. My neck's swollen and I'm still kind of hurts to talk and swallow. He pulls back a little and looks to the horizon. Everything's red for me now. Huh? Leo doesn't respond and I pull back to look at his face. He seems kind of distant, probably concussed. I glance back to where Jeremy and Clinton were and notice they're gone, no trace of them to be seen. I think for a moment and I see the familiar white full of Mika's head and shoulders in the distance, but he's well out of sight by now. God damn, Mika saved you, you know that? You saved me. I blink, furrowing my brow some. No, that was Mika, the short back guy. I hope he's gonna be okay. He's fast and wily. He should be fine, especially once Brian's adrenaline wears off. Thanks, Chula. I love you. I'm struck by the gentleness of his statement, his tone genuine if dazed. The frayed mess of nerves I am right now, hearing that soothes me just a little. Sure, Leo, love you too. Let's get you back to the motel. I look down at the tattered remains of Leo's shirt as we stand up together. Christ, this wasn't productive at all, was it? We limp our way back to my sedan. Oh, wrong way. We limp our way back to my sedan after helping Leo into the back seat and making our way back to the motel.
Can you hear the kitten purring?
Very slightly.
Move the mic. Yeah. Yeah, power into the mic.
Yes.
Yeah. I have a kitten on my lap. Put the microphone back up. There we go.
God, you're heavier than I remember. Only where it counts. A wry smile is visible in his muzzle, the battered wolf clearly still lippy from the blows to his head. Or at least... Jesus. Or at least that's what I hope the explanation is. He keeps squeezing my side as I struggle to keep him upright. With my free hand I dig around in my pocket and search for the Echo Motel keycard. Task is made all the more difficult by the pawing ministrations of Leo, who I keep having to bat away. For fuck's sake, Leo, I'm genuinely pissed at you. We almost died and you blew our chances to find Carl easily. I don't even know how I'm going to begin to explain all this to the cops. Leo makes a dismissive noise. I'll handle it, you don't gotta worry. I prop Leo up against the wall, giving him an incredulous look. Does he not process what would have happened if Mika and I hadn't stepped in to help him? Leo, you just pissed off some kind of trailer park drug kingpin who now knows exactly who you are. That should concern the hell out of you. Nah. There's a distant look in his eyes. Before I have time to further chastise what an idiot he's being, I hear a voice call out from behind me.
Hey.
Jenna's holding a small plastic bag with the words "thank you" printed on it over and over again in bold red lettering.
Chase, where were you? What's going on?
Leo's expression goes a bit more flat, his tail unmoving behind him. Jenna? The wolf greets her curtly, inciting a perplexed face from the fox.
I leave for 20 minutes and of course Leo is now beaten and shirtless.
She gives me a stern look. What happened? Oh, sorry.
That's alright.
I let out a sigh, pinching the tip of my nose for letting my paw flap down at my sides. Leo tried to interrogate the tetanus allied crew by himself. I was doing fine until that squeaky voice fat ass showed up. Brian, I clarify.
Oh shit.
She reaches into her pocket, taking out her own keycard and sliding into the door.
Come on, let's get you inside. There's some basic medical supplies in the bathroom. I'll see what I can scrounge up.
I think he's got a concussion.
Yeah, I don't need to tell you that you shouldn't let him fall asleep.
I'm right here, you know. You can talk to me.
I would if I think it would do any good, but you obviously don't listen to anything we say, as evidenced by this latest stunt. God, Leo, why are you so stupid? You're an adult.
Jenna pushes the door open and I help Leo inside. I'm trying not to look directly at him, but judging by the tenseness of his muscles, I can tell he's definitely not digging Jenna's scolding. I walk Leo up to one of the beds and help him sit down, carefully so he doesn't smush his own tail. Easy now, big guy. The wolf probably softens at those words, and I think I catch a slight, sad smile pass towards my direction. Despite all his idiocy, we did just survive near death together. He pats my lower back some just as Jenna shuts the door behind us.
I should probably text TJ. He's doing those sports medicine courses, so he might be able to help us out a bit. He left to continue the search with Flynn after you didn't show up. though, honestly, I think we should drive him to the urgent care down in Peyton.
I look up to Leo, anticipating his response before he even speaks. I'm fine, Leo. I said I'm fine, yeah? You shouldn't be babying me over while Carl's still out there.
But you're right. We shouldn't be having to do this at all.
Jenna walks past us both with a glowering look of maternal disappointment before heading into the bathroom. She does drop the bag of food next to us on the bed, though. Ordinarily, I'd be concerned about just getting grease on the covers, but considering the circumstances, I pull out a styrofoam container from the bag and pop it open. Inside are 2 grilled cheese sandwiches with toast, eggs, and bacon pushed off to the side. It looks kind of haphazardly put together, but my grumbling stomach doesn't mind. I hand Leo a grilled cheese and take some bacon for myself. You feeling dizzy? Any sudden sharp head pains? Just some throbbing. But that's about it, eh? Par for the course when I'm around you. He grins with a flicker of excitement before taking a huge bite of the sandwich. I can't help but stare at him wide-eyed, my face burning. It's not that I'm super offended by the flirting or anything, it's just now of all times to do it. Leo swallows down a mouthful of bread and cheese. Judging by his expression, he doesn't seem to be a big fan of the taste. Yeah, sorry, just getting sleepy. I reach up, clutching his shoulder. Hey, come on, don't pass that out, as you know you can't do that now. Jenna returns with some hydrogen peroxide gauze and what looks like a bottle containing acetaminophen.
It's basically paracetamol for what I know.
Ah.
I sent out a message to the group chat letting them know what's going on. The signal has been kind of weird for a second, but it did say sent.
Jenna sits down beside the wolf with her can of disinfectant, to which Leo visibly recoils. I can do it, just give it to me. The Fennec's brow furrows, she actually pulls back the can.
No, that's not how you're supposed that is not how you're going to treat me right now.
Like you treating me like shit, yeah?
What?
I know you've been talking nearly me behind my back, trying to keep Chase away. Jenna stares dumbfoundedly at Leo.
I am absolutely baffled by your priorities right now. I'm going to assume this is the head trauma speaking.
So what if it is? You know it's true? Leo shifts his gaze to me. She has, hasn't she? I sigh. I really wasn't prepared to deal with this confrontation right now. I probably should have spent more time with you to make sure you didn't do anything like you just did.
No, Chase, this is not your fault. The sooner Leo realizes he's the one making mistakes, the sooner we can rally and figure out what we're going to do next. For Carl, remember him? The person we're actually trying to find?
I wince, having agreed with the first part of what Jenna said, but it's definitely gone a step too far. Jenna, we're all concerned about Carl. I take the antiseptic spray and begin shaking the can before spritzing a few on Leo's wounds. The wolf barely even reacts. His pain tolerance was always pretty heavy growing up. He'd win pretty much every game of slap hands or pinch you, pinch me, or like Flynn or Carl devised. I used to find that sort of toughness attractive. Guys, let's focus. Jenna holds up the flat of her palm towards me, speaking with a curt tone.
Chase, you don't really believe Leo is doing this out of the goodness of his heart, right? That he has some deep compassion for Carl? Hell, I've spoke with Carl online these past few years. Leo basically stopped talking to him the moment you left for college. That is 3 whole years of not giving a damn.
Leo's jaws pull back along the corner of his mouth for a moment before he reaches up and clutches his temple. That's real hypocritical of you to say.
Don't.
Jenna looks up at the ceiling, her usual cool and collected demeanour gone. It's clear Leo's action pushed her past the point of calm understanding. Don't what? Don't stop you from laying into me while you're guilty of the same? Yeah, you left everyone behind, didn't you? Jenna looks stunned for a moment before her brow furrows once again.
Oh yes, Leo, a completely unjustified decision. Unrelenting neglect, abuse, and traumatic influence is no reason to distance oneself from the sacred nuclear family unit.
It's not often that Jenna outright expressed what went on in her tiny house growing up. We all figured she wasn't keen on representing herself as someone to be pitied, so we generally didn't pry. Her bringing this up now definitely means it's a touchier subject, and Leo knows this.
After this outburst and your latest behavior, is it any wonder that we don't reach out to you much anymore?
Leo's unfocused gaze shifts from Jenna to me and back again. Jace talks to me. I squeeze Leo's shoulder. Guys, Carl. Let's focus on Carl. What are we gonna do about him? I flash Jenna a pleading look. Yeah, he still messages me from time to time. I squeeze harder. He says he misses me and that he can't wait to see me again. That he misses us being together.
What?
Jenna peers at Leo incredulously, her arms fold across his chest. When no one says anything in response, she unfolds her arm, expression softening some.
Wait, seriously?
Her attention shifts to me.
You've been texting Leo that you want to get back together this whole time?
No, not really. I mean, I barely text him. It's always late at night. Leo speaks with a droll monotone. My phone flashes and it's you. You bring up all the old times we messed around and now you want to do it again. You get kind of intense too. Like last time when you talked about, you wanted me and you again. Leo, for fuck's sake. My face absolutely burns. I want to just throw my paw over his muzzle and shut him up. How could you be bringing this up at a time like this? Or bringing it up at all? Jenna's brow is raised to high now. Before she can say anything else, Leo speaks again, gesturing forward with jittery movements. I'm not fucking lying, yeah? I can show you the text. I saved him.
You got rid of them the next morning. Every time.
A dull throb pounds my head with intrusive thoughts as pointed with Jenna's gaze, which is very much aimed at me now.
They make you feel guilty. Out of everything, that's what you feel guilty about? Okay, wow. Neither of you told me any of this.
I practically want to scream now. Carl, let's focus on Carl. Anything to get the spotlight off me. Well, it wasn't really pertinent. Just a couple of times over the span of 3 years.
Chase? Is it? It is. At least somewhat.
She hesitates for a second, trying to find some gentle phrasing as she shifts her weight from one foot to the other.
Not the nitty-gritty details, of course, unless we're all particularly inebriated.
She looks between the two of us.
At the very least, partially explains Leo's behavior. Though I'm not saying it justifies it.
There you go again, I'm right here and you're still talking right over me. He hunches forward some.
You're injured, Leo. Plus, your words and actions have been exceptionally irrational lately, so forgive me if you aren't given a spot at the grown-up table.
Leo ignores her, beginning to mumble. At first I was confused. Why are you acting like this? Trying to take me away my chance to make things right. You've always been cruel, but never this bad, yeah?
Cruel?
Jenna lets out an amused but exhausted noise, pinching the bridge of her muzzle.
Are you implying that I'm stealing Chase from you? As if he were an object to be conquered and taken? That is regressive.
Leo starts talking in that same deadpan voice before Jenna finishes. You know what you're doing?
Attitude towards someone you claim to understand so deeply.
Jenna continues speaking even throughout the wolf's words. But hey, that's just who you are. Leo, please relax, stop talking, and begin wrapping gauze around some of the disinfected wounds. It's hard to tell and difficult to focus on what's going on, but some of these might require some stitches. His large head turns to look at me, but his pupils are hidden behind a half-open eyelids. Just close my eyes and fall asleep. Wait, no, don't do that. And then you're right there with me again. Jenna's nostrils flare, exasperated.
I'm about to smack him awake.
I frown. Don't do that either. You came down to Echo to surprise me the other week. I thought it was really nice of you, showed you cared. I have no clue what he's talking about. The past few weeks I've been cramming for midterms and streaming old movies with Vincent in my dorm room. For a moment I think Jenna gives me a slightly accusatory look but doesn't say anything. Instead she grabs a few strips of bacon before walking to the other side of the room and checking her phone.
Okay, the signal is completely messed up. My bars are bouncing up and down like they're on a trampoline.
She holds her phone higher, squinting at it. Meanwhile I'm trying to get Leo upright as I wrap a particularly nasty looking gash in his arm. He must have cut himself when he fell down. Maybe a tetanus shot is in order when we get to the doctor too. You were kind of thin, which was cute, but you should eat more. I was gonna have Pops cook you these hamburgers with the jalapeno ketchup you liked. He's not really making much sense at the moment, but at least the focus isn't on me anymore. I have a feeling he's going to get a bit of scolding from Jenna later, though. I always thought Leo's dad's burgers were kind of iffy, but I never want to be rude. The goatee, though, you shaving it was kind of funny. You were so proud of that thing. But I was like, if you're doing everything, you could to be cute for me. Jenna's frowning deeply at her phone now. Whether it's because of what Leo said or something on her screen is unclear. Without looking, Leo brings up a giant paw and squeezes the end of my chin. I quickly push it away and he seems surprised for a moment when he feels the untrimmed scruff. Huh? Is that really you, Chase? I catch Jenna peering pointedly at the wolf for glancing back at her phone.
I'm thinking maybe we should start driving to the clinic now. I'm not even sure if the others got my text, and this stupid phone can barely buffer the messaging app. I've tried both, and the standard SMS.
I reach into my pocket to pull out my phone. The spot where the bars indicating service and Wi-Fi aren't there anymore. At least at first. I think I see them flicker back on for a second before disappearing again. I've never seen them do this before. Yeah, my Wi-Fi is messed up too. I press my thumb over the power button. I guess I'll try turning it off and on again. Jenna frowns.
Then I suppose there's no point in checking my laptop.
She lets out a long exhale before shoving her phone back into her pocket and looking at me.
Before I give up entirely, let me try your phone real quick. You've always had the best signal. That is, unless you got something on there you'd rather not show me?
Her tone is idle and nonchalant, but her words definitely meant as a jab. Hey, come on. I let go of Leo and give the Fennec my best annoyed look. I can explain all this later, but it's just bad timing with... And then Leo goes still. I turn to look into his eyes and notice they're still open. But there's something behind them.
Oh, that's horrible. Oh, that's a very good use of breaking format to make people feel uncomfortable. That's the only animation I've seen. Fucking hell.
Yep, apart from like, you know, changes between the things. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, like when they change the picture that they're using and move them around, but they don't actually show animation.
Yeah, that's different.
That breaking of the hysteria going along with sudden animation in this game, yeah, that's fucking clever. That's fucking clever. That's fucking good. I hate it. Hey.
It's definitely definitely different, and I'm intrigued to see what they do. This is the first time we've actually had Chase seeming to encounter Shadow Chase as well. So,
well, he's seen him around, but like, and heard him in like little glimpses, like, you know, when in Flynn's route when he sees him briefly in the window. And you saw him quite a bit with Leo, and Leo was telling me like, oh, you wanted me to stay, and before the whole pull off the train scene, you know.
Yeah.
And like now, like he straight up admitted that he basically has been seeing Chase around for years around Echo. Oh, I don't like it. That is how you do a horror. That is how you would do a horror, people.
Yep, you break the format for one thing, and you break it randomly. You don't build up to it.
Yeah, you make people uncomfortable consistently and throughout. The slow turning of the entire room into red as well. Like, I barely noticed it, but like once I did, it was like, oh, that's bad. That's the hysteria coming.
I mean, shading has been a massive thing that they've done a lot in this game. And like how much you like visibility and how much you actually see with things. It's been subtle changes, and you're never really sure if they're actually relevant or if it's just like.
Oh, something else. I just thought of this actually. You know how Jenna said, like, in her dream, the room was reddish, like there was a dust storm outside, and in Leah's route, you got that little line that was like, there's something bad in the dirt. Oh, that's smart. It's not dust, but it's something similar. Oh, that is fucking smart writing. Jesus Christ, I am uncomfortable.
Well, let's see how Beardless Chase goes.
Oh, Oh, I don't want to see it move again.
Hey.
Hey.
What? I step back. Leo mumbles something inaudible. The figure stands behind him still, its body blurred and dark, the light of the room won't touch it. It's like it's staring into a funhouse mirror, except the thing in front of me isn't following my movements as I back further and further away. There's a gasp from the corner of the room.
Chase?
Jenna's voice comes after a few seconds of silence.
What is that?
She speaks in a half yell, half whisper. I don't know. I respond without thinking. The figure stares at me. As I back away, I notice its socketed eyes follow me, without ever moving its head. My foot catches the edge of the suitcase. I have to quickly grab the dresser so I don't tumble over. I stuck in sharp breath between my teeth and my heart pounding. No reaction. 10 seconds have passed now and this thing is still here. Leo stirs, but only somewhat. His eyes roll back in his head and he turns slightly towards the direction of the doppelganger. Only the ends begin to move as well. It rests a shadowy furred paw on Leo's own. Let's save again, in case this is an important one.
Oh, that's uncomfortable. I don't like anything about this.
So what do we say? Do we let the doppelganger touch him without saying anything, or do we say something?
What do you think?
I have a feeling if I don't know actually. They both are interesting ideas.
Yeah. Both of them are equally upsetting.
Yes. I think because of the run we're choosing, where we're siding more with Jenna with things, I think we'll say nothing and see what Leo does. I think if we do the don't touch him, Leo will react to something, even though Leo's...
Okay.
So I think we'll go with say nothing for the first one.
Okay.
Leo's lips move again. This time I can hear him clearly. I love you.
Love you too.
He speaks in my voice this time, crystal clear with no distortion. The affectation is slightly perturbed, and I realise it's how I sounded when I responded to Leo earlier. Its shadowy visage fades into the surroundings. Jesus, it's got very bright until it's completely gone. I can feel the goosebumps beneath my fur subside and the breathing somehow easier all of a sudden, the air less thick. Leo sits up still in a sleepy daze. He clutches at his paw, feeling nothing there, and confused, a sad expression crosses his white face. I finally look over to Jenna, who's backed against the bathroom door. She rubs her eyes, seeming to look on in disbelief. Neither of us say anything, trying to process what the hell that was. I felt like a dream, but one I could actually feel. The room itself...
Oh. You okay?
Yeah, just something weird happened there.
Yeah.
What is this? Why is this up here? Hang on. There we go. Something weird just loaded at the top there. Not sure what's going on. Carry on. Hopefully that was just a glitch. Neither of us say anything, trying to process what the hell that was. It felt like a dream, but one I could actually feel. The room itself has gone, there's a sort of ozone-y smell to it, but that's completely gone too now. Surprisingly, Leo was the first to speak. Thank you, Chase. He says it's still looking at his paw. What? That's all I can say. One of Leo's ears flicks and he turns his attention back to me. For being here with me. Jenna walks up, touching the space where the doppelganger was moments ago.
What the fuck?
She reaches down, grasping her wrist and checking her pulse, pinching herself a few times while she's at it.
Was I drugged? You saw that too, right, Chase?
I nod, trying to speak, but only a croaking sound comes to the throat at first. I cough, then try again. I saw it. I think. That was the thing from my dream.
Oh no. No.
Jenna turns, walking back towards the bathroom door.
God, Chase, don't say that.
The thought clearly appears to unnerve her. I'm sorry, but that was real.
There has to be an explanation for whatever that was. I'm about ready to start looking for hidden cameras here.
I glance down at my suitcase and spot the familiar orange handbox container that I keep my camera equipment in. If only I'd gotten whatever it was on film. I exhale, noticing that my legs are still shaking. It's all so familiar. We should probably get out of here.
Agreed. I'm gonna grab my stuff and pack your trunk.
You think we should leave?
Yes. I need to get back to Pueblo and take a few mental health days. We'll finish packing. Pick up TJ, drop Leo off at the clinic, hit Stag and take him home later.
Leo picks up his freshly wrapped bandages. Why did it touch him? I need to find Carl. Jenna says nothing to Leo's insistence, the fennec shoving her dirty clothes into a garbage bag. Leo, I don't really know what more we can do. I'll handle it and then you can come back. His red eyes meet mine for the first time in a while, and I'm struck by a level of compassion in them. For a second it reminds me of the best moments of our relationship. With my heart still thudding in my ears and my legs weak, I managed to force a smile towards the dazed wolf. Right, of course. Doctor first, though. I'm about ready to check myself in there, too. He cants his head, peering at me curiously. I'll find Carl, don't worry. There's a knocking on the window, awkward taps, followed by a crooning falsetto voice.
Carl? I found Carl.
It makes Jenna and I jump, both of us freezing in place. Who's there? Leo asks sleepily.
It's me, Mika.
More knocking, this time a little harder. Mika? Leo blinks, suddenly seeming more awake. He clutches the end of the bed, pushing himself to his feet. The wolf is a little wobbly, his tail swaying behind him as he tries to keep his balance.
Yeah, it's me. Open the door.
Something off about his voice. I don't think it's him. Leo steps over towards the window and draws the curtains before I can tell him to stop. The familiar outline of the bat's massive ears pokes over the bottom of the sill. He's crouched down like he's afraid to be seen. Jenna steps up beside me, watching on from a distance. Mika lifts his head up a little. I notice he has a strange expression on his face, like he's not fully awake. There's also something attached to the scruff of his neck. The bat's face is snout square against the window, blood squirting from his nose, and coating both the pain in his face. Fuck.
Oh god, Leo, get back.
Mika slumps aside, falling out of sight as the figure who's making the voice reveals himself. Brian. The bear rams open the door, bits of splintered wood from the frame showering the carpet. Leo, get back. Leo turns to face him just as something metal strikes across his face. I don't hear the impact, but Leo crumples just the same. He points the thing at me now, and I realise quickly it's a gun. He smiles at me for a second, approaching me next. I try to back up, but there's nowhere to run. He grabs me by the shirt and I feel my body swing around.
Don't you fucking...
Ugh.
A coyote latches onto my shoulder, yanking me back. Something hard smacks into my skull and I feel my mind rattle. I lurch away, essentially butt-bumping the coyote as my ears ring with a prior blow. Teacher's still on the ground, crying and covered in booze as the bullies stand around him. My movements go sluggish and it's like I've become a zombie, shambling towards the door as my vision blurs. This is what being knocked out feels like. I clench my fists and keep up the pace, trying to blink the blurriness away. Eventually I reach the entrance. Carl? Leo? I reach the outside, my knees lock and I drop to the concrete. The impact rattles my bones and I catch myself in my wrists, barely managing to avoid falling directly onto my muzzle. I take a deep breath. I'm still conscious. At least, half conscious. I continue crawling, trying to ignore the throbbing pain. Carl? Shouting now, my voice sounds like foreign to me. Shrill, childlike, pathetic, increasingly hoarse. Leo? My voice shouldn't be this croaky. I've barely talked today. I'm in the middle of the road now. Where's Carl? I should get out of here before a car comes. I pull myself along the asphalt, feeling my skin scrape beneath my fur. I want to stand, but I'll probably just fall again. So I keep crawling, rolling into what seems like some sort of detention basin. I stare up at the sky, fighting the sudden fatigue and gritting my teeth through the pain. I first think it's just blood that's got in my eyes, but upon rubbing them I realise that isn't the case. The sky is different, like someone slapped one of those gel matte filters over it. What the hell? I rub my eyes again, attempting to focus. I can't stay here. TJ's in some deep shit, those idiots. Those assholes. Sucking in a sharp breath into my teeth, I rise to a stand, praying my knees don't lock up again. Find Carl. Find Leo. I stumble out of the detention basin, feeling packed soil beneath my feet. A dirt road. Looking behind me, I realize I must have crawled farther than I thought. Parsons looks over a mile away. That can't be right.
I will need to head off when this scene ends, though.
Okay, no problem.
I am up at 5 a.m. again.
Oof, yes, that's fine then. I see a van ahead. It looks rusted and old, but there's a light on inside. Oh, wrong one. I step stiff-leggedly down the road a ways, reaching the bend where the vehicle sits. The same redness in the sky tinted the skies. The same redness that the sky is tinted with pulsates from the interior. I try to speak, but no words come from my throat. It's like a dream. I want to do the rational thing and announce myself, but I can't. I move closer, peering into the dusty back window. Inside the window is another window, and in that window is a little red dot in the corner, flashing on and off. In the window within a window, there's a writhing flashes of fur, contorted and undulating in constant restless motion. Something is trying to get hold of it in place. I hear a clap and a cry. The clapping continues, louder now, rhythmic yet singular applause. "This is what you want," says the voice that cried. I stare, slowly finding the will to speak. "No, I need to help my friends." Do you know where they are?" The voice shifts some, more urgent. "We heard gunfire coming from the town. It's real bad." "Gunfire? I didn't hear anything. Please help me find my friends." "We can't find them all now. We need to go. They're lost." No, they're not. I'll keep looking. I'll just keep looking myself." "You're just going in circles." I feel tears well up in my eyes, a lump in my throat, containing a choking sob. "Please." The van back doors open. I'm standing too close and it pushes me onto my back. The red light is gone now, replaced by darkness, shifting shadows within. I see them now, tarantulas. Their eight legs fuzzed with white and rust-coloured stripes. They're on me with haste, two of them, one on each of my arms. They bite so hard, so quickly I can't yell. They pull, tug at me, eat another pair at my legs. I'm pulled up and into the van, my body stretched upon a squishy something that begins to sink against my arms and legs. There's no more light and I stare, paralysed, at what I think is the ceiling in the van and the pitch blackness. It feels like restraints are binding me in place. I try to adjust my eyes to the darkness, but everything seems blurry and unclear. My head throbs like a heartbeat. The pangs of pain are relenting. My fur bristles. Where did the spiders go? Breathing has become more difficult as the oxygen in the van was running out. I feel the veins in my neck bulge as they try and gasp for large breaths, but my body is not my own. Lights seem to pop as the ringing in my ears intensifies. Something is above me. I can sense it. There's a garbled muttering coming forth from it, as if spoken through the poorly tuned AM radio. It sounds like me.
You knocked him out. I swear I nearly touched him, man. Pants on. Dude. Just go. Leo. Go, before he wakes up. We'll see you. Party.
It goes quiet. After a few more seconds,
Chase. Chase. Chase.
the voice changes. This time the voice is throbbing within my head.
Have you ever killed anyone? Oh, fuck.
We're at Brian's house again.
Oh, fuck. I'm gonna guess it's Chase.
I hear my name once again and lean forward to find my head pounding on something metal round my neck.
Chase?
Again, my name is spoken, the voice coarse rasp that sounds somewhat familiar. I blink several times trying to get the blurriness to leave my eyes. They feel puffy like I've been crying a lot. Sure enough, as I touch my cheeks I can feel wet stains. I must have wept while I was out. Finally, my vision clears enough that I can get a read on my surroundings. Some kind of trailer with trash and stained clothing scattered about everywhere. More of it's beer bottles and old TV dinner packages, with a few stacks of vintage science magazines and newspapers along the back wall. Dishes and junk are piled high along the length of the counter, and it smells like cigarette smoke. Brian must have brought me here. Maybe this is his place. As the reality of the situation sinks in, I quickly try and stand up, but the sudden tugging in my throat pulls me back down. I clutch at it, and realise there's some kind of metal collar which is keeping me pinned to the wood-panelled wall.
Chase?
This time I turn and crane my head to identify the source. Carl? My heart leaps, but it stops cold once I notice the position he's in. The ram is on some kind of table with bindings around his neck, wrists and fetlocks. The ram cranes his neck to what looks like a painful fashion to look at me. His eyes are puffy and bloodshot, far beyond the usual pink-hued drug-induced haze. He's been crying. A lot. Carl! I exclaim, my voice a half-whisper, half-shout. What's going on?
Are you really Chase?
His voice is weak, cracking with each enunciation. I can see the veins in the ram's neck bulge through his thin fur when he tries to speak. What? Of course it's really me. Did Brian nab you too? Shakily the ram nods his head, his horns making clacking sounds against the wooden table.
It's all a fucking nightmare, dude. I can't tell what's real anymore. Everything's fuzzy.
He squeezes his fist, wrenches his wrists back and tries to worm his way out of the bindings.
He keeps coming by and tightening the wrap around my neck. Until, I can only get a tiny bit of air. After a few minutes, I start to see lights popping and everything goes all dark and grainy. Over and over again.
It's at that point I notice there's something hanging above him on the ceiling, a mirror. Ornately framed in gold trim, pinned up with rusty metal stakes. It's so starkly fancy and out of place considering the rest of the trashy interior. Jesus. I strain against the collar around my neck, trying to get a better look at my own bindings. It's hard to see, but this collar looks like it's been bolted to the wooden panelled wall on both sides of my neck. Haphazardly too, as it jiggles whenever I shift too hard. At some time the edges of the collar are not exactly smooth. I feel like if I yank too quickly the metal would cut into my own neck.
Are there cops coming? I just want to go home, man.
I share the sentiment, though right now I'm just trying to get my bearings. The edge of my forehead where Brian hit me throbs with pain every few seconds. There's no air conditioning in here either, and I can't help but feel like I'm sitting on a hot car that smells like a dumpster. There's a pungent aroma of body odour mixed with something kinda like rotten fruit. Every breath I take just brings more of that scent into me until I can practically taste it on my tongue. I don't know. I finally respond. Carl's heart visibly sinks, his eyes darting around the room before finally setting on something to my right.
Leo?
I blink and delicately try and turn my head over to peer beside me. Crumpled on the floor and bound in a similar type of bondage to my own is Leo, still unconscious. His lip is split and a bit of blood is pulled onto the grey carpet. Fortunately he's still breathing and that big chest of his is rising and falling in slow rhythm. It looks like he took that strike earlier, mainly on his muzzle. Hopefully that means his head itself didn't take much more of a brunt, which undoubtedly would worsen the hell out of his concussion. Leo? Leo, wake up. I hear him grunt softly like I just disturbed him from a pleasant nap. His eyes already seem half open, so whether he's truly sleeping right now or not isn't clear. Stretching out, I can just barely manage to nudge him with the tip of my tail. Leo, come on. Another soft groan.
He looks beat up. Also, I do need to go soon.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's alright. Do you want to just wind it there?
Probably for the best, yeah.
Alright.
I need to get sleep very shortly.
Let's go for which one's a potato? That was the last save point for last time, so let's go over that one.
Okay.
Alright. So, you said you were away Wednesday, right?
I don't know at the moment. I don't know if anything's happening on Wednesday.
Because I thought we were doing gaming at like 8 o'clock, but we're not doing gaming till 11. So if you wanted, we could do like a small 2-hour session on Wednesday.
Possibly could, yeah.
Would only be like 7 to 9 though.
Yeah. Yeah, something similar for me, to be honest.
I'll see what's going on.
Okay.
Because I might get pulled into the takeaway, but hopefully not.
All right. Well, let me know let me know basically on either tomorrow or Wednesday, and we'll work from there.
Cool, that works.
Alright, well, apart from that, our next streams will be... tomorrow, there's no night stream tomorrow, but there is an overnight one, because it's going to be a Halloween one around 1 in the morning. That's with Dice Imitate Life. Wednesday, hopefully now, there'll be a short Echo stream, so we'll hopefully carry on and find out what's actually happening to Chase and Carl. And Leo, now that we know Leo's there as well. Then, after that, we'll be doing some Demonologist with Crimson Pleasure and the other wonderful folk over at Real Women of Gaming, who are doing their charity event called From to Hell and Back, I believe it's called. So yes, we'll be doing that on Wednesday. Thursday should be back to normal, doing indie horror. I've just picked up a bunch of indie horror games today, so that'll be what we're playing Thursday. Friday will be more Distrust with Tom and Zeph, and then afterwards will be some Sons of the Forest with AJ. Saturday there's no gaming at the moment. I think there might be something in the evening doing Blood and the Clock Tower or something, but I'll have to wait to find out if anyone does for that. Then Sunday will be Dark Tide, and then Monday should be Verlasting.
Yeah.
So
Good.
So yeah, it's going to be a busy couple of days, but hopefully it'll be fun, and hopefully, because we were leaving on a slight cliffhanger, hopefully we'll get to this on Wednesday and get a bit more done.
That would be nice. Fingers crossed we can actually finish it, because I don't know how much there is left. Hopefully it's doable, because I think we're ramping up into the end game now.
Yeah, the only thing I don't know is I don't know how I did look at where Jenna's plot point changes, and I don't know how much of the story will be the same up to like straight after it, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah,
So-
I'm not sure either.
Yeah, but we'll look at that later. But yes, we will look. Do we know anyone we can raid out to? Let's have a quick look. Who do we know that's on? Let's go. I don't actually no. We'll go to Real Women of Gaming, because we're going to be doing stuff with them on Wednesday. We will raid into them. So yes, thank you everyone once again for being around. You all are wonderful fucking folk, and we will catch you all tomorrow night for more Halloween. And if I can find the right... Actually, I need to get used to using the one in here. Where's the one in here? It's that one. So that one, and we're going to the Real Women of Gaming. So yes, we're going over there. So yes, until next time, folks, you all take care. We'll catch you all then. Till then, have a great night. See you later. Good night.